Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. My lovely wife, Kara, will be joining us here in just a moment. She's getting me my damn coffee. How's everybody doing today? Probably just got demonetized for using the D word. They don't want you to even use the small curse words anymore for the first 60 seconds, but I'm not even sure if I turned it on. I am live. I just went live. And here's my lovely wife, Kara. No, I just clicked it. Just clicked it.
I didn't get here to bang.
Bang! Neeves Knives.
My
I'm
name
Jared.
is Kara, and I'm here with Jared.
There you go. I'm just making sure my thing is on really quick. I didn't put any links in the description. I'm just dropping them in really quick, just in case. You never know, we might need them. But we do have a lot of topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to start off with talking about the crappy way companies treat
Can I take
their
this one?
Customers.
Can I take it?
You can start it off. Yeah, start it off.
I want to take all of it.
You can't have all of it. You can't have all of it.
I'm just
No.
kidding. I'll share. I gotta have this because this is serious.
Come on.
Okay. So recently, without sharing specific details at this point, there has been like multiple people that have messaged me or slash us on Instagram saying, hey guys, do you think you could possibly like use your connections with companies, which obviously we have, right? Like we get knives from them, to like let them know that I'm trying to get an exchange or a pivot or warranty work in general, right? And in most cases, the people that I've spoken to were actually like trying to like pay for it, or like it was a fair even exchange, like not trying to get anything for free, right? And telling me that, oh, they're not getting a reply, they've tried three times here and 4 times here, and can I say the companies?
Yeah.
In general, the first two that are the ones that I've heard about the most are Riat and Artisan / CGRB. But
Riat, to be clear, is usually really, really good. But there's a little bit of a problem here because there's a company in between the two. So right, it does kind of make it sticky. But for the most part, it should fall on Riat.
So when you buy from dealers themselves, if you're doing an even exchange, typically you do want to work with the dealer. They're the ones who have the knives in stock, and technically they are the ones
especially
that
for
sold
a replacement or money back.
So replacement can be considered as warranty work, and there are some situations where you could both go to the manufacturer or the retailer. It just really depends. And sometimes the retailer is the manufacturer, in which case that's the only person you have to go to. But in some of these cases, what we're talking about here is the manufacturers being difficult, and it's super important that we say this to the community. And the reason why I'm not saying the specific situations is because I don't have like receipts for you guys to sit here and say.
No, but we do have a little bit of
but I trust these people.
But we also have firsthand knowledge on us trying to contact Artisan. It took us, if you guys only knew how long it took me to finally get a hold of Artisan. We still don't deal with them
directly. We deal with a third-party company that sends us knives on their behalf. So
right.
I believe that it makes very clear sense. Now, if your only way of trying to contact a company is Instagram, I mean, you got to say, for that instance, you have to say, like, okay, not every company says that they operate off Instagram as their primary source of knowledge. But I can firsthand say there's been particular companies, not these two, but a different one, where I have tried to Instagram them, email them directly at their info email, use their stupid contact form on their website, call them by phone, and still get no legitimate reply except for, oh, I'll talk to my boss. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know this stuff happens, and it's really upsetting to see companies, especially like Artisan, where it's like USA based company, even if they're working out of China, to not deal with their customer service and reply. I'm not saying don't buy Artisan. That's not at all the point I'm saying here. But the point is as a community, if this stuff is happening, if you know people that it's happening to, post that shit.
What I would recommend is make sure you have an Instagram page, first of all. And when you make a post on the problem that you're having, tag the company, tag channels, maybe not certain channels, but maybe tag some channels so that they feel influenced to do something about it.
Look at Ryan's comment at the top there.
I'm gonna read them in just 1 second. But Artisan, though, was so it was so difficult to contact them. I even firsthand talked to Russell, right? The way it first started was they contacted me, and then just like disappeared. And then it was like they never replied back after they contacted me. Then finally I got a hold of Russell because Russell heard me bitching about it. I think on a live or something. I was actually bitching about it, just like I am right now. And he contacted me and said like, oh, there was, something with the Instagram, whatever, gave me his email. Then I tried for like 6 months to talk to him on email, and it's just the same damn thing.
And you can't blame it. Like, obviously, like an individual has responsibility in this, but it's the entire company.
Yeah, but yeah, he's busy as hell, and it might not be his responsibility, but I know he's dealt with a lot of other channels and everything. And when I go to Blade shows, I run into him, and he's really cool. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they need to fix their ability to talk and communicate with the public that buys their knives, because it is absolutely ridiculous when you can't contact anybody, when it's just like, it doesn't matter if it's on Instagram or through emails, you do all the contact information. Like I said, it was impossible for us, so I already know, like, for you guys, what's it going to be like, right? Let me read some of these comments, and I do want to talk a little bit more about a couple other companies. Is that a cloud talking on the right? Is that a sniper shooting from an air balloon?
Like sweatshirt. Look like a cloud.
Okay. I also got a knife from Artisan that I didn't pay for, and I wanted to send it back. Never heard from them. Getting warranty with CGRB is a nightmare. Took me months and months of emailing them, and even with Mike giving me the head guy's email and number, and it still took months. Right, exactly. And that's Russell.
You have to be aware of this sort of stuff when you buy from a company. Like, sometimes we just see the product and we're like, oh, I want that, right? But like, what if you get, like, in the one case of somebody messaging me, they straight up from CRJB have a knife that straight up will not open, just doesn't open, and he just wants to get it fixed. Like, he paid for the product.
Exchange your money back.
The product wasn't delivered as promised. Fix it.
Right.
Like, there should be a business infrastructure in place before you even sell shit, where somebody is going to get a response within 5 business days at max. Like, seriously, like, no more than 5. If you're a small company, I give you a week. Anything longer than that, like, you're just not caring. Like, it's really, it's a slap in the damn
purposely
face.
Avoiding it is what you're doing.
You're slapping people in the face. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And you know what? I wonder, well, with Artisan, I don't think they care who it was, honestly. I don't think they would care if it was like the biggest influential person in the knife community. But a lot of these companies could literally, like, they'll treat certain people with messages and replies, like us, for instance, and then they won't for just like a dude who's buying their product. And it's like, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, we may push, like, get stuff out there for people to buy, but those individuals who don't have knife channels that are buying the products are your bread and butter. They are your company. Without them, you're nothing. Just like without you guys watching, we're nothing. It's the same thing. And that's why we treat you guys well and with respect and with love, because without you, we don't have a business. And like, the fact that they don't act like that is just like, it's so pompous, and it makes me just want to be like, bleh.
Shout out to
NAF
Sale. Definitely go and check them out. They not only sell used knives and brand new knives, but they also
NAF Sale will be nice to you.
Your knives. So if you have a knife you want to sell, that is the spot. People ask me all the time, hey, where do you sell your knives? Right here, nafsale.com. Definitely check them
actually
out.
The CJRB Pyrite, Joshua, was the exact knife that the dude had that was stuck shut.
I legit got a $50 knife for free, and I wanted to send it back along with the wrong knife for a fair trade, and they never responded.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of these complaints weren't even like, oh, give me free stuff. It was just like even exchanges. Like I said, the one dude wanted to just buy a pivot, like buy it, like not from Artisan. That was React, but still, like, it's just.
That's right, Todd. 100% customer service is what can make or break a company, especially for that second purchase. Absolutely, because you got to imagine, think about like the people, because there's going to be mess ups, right? Like I never really care about that. Like, obviously, with any company, there's going to be some lemons that go out, right? If they have good quality control, it should be as little as possible, but there's still always going to be some. And that's not the big deal. The big deal is, what do they do about it, right? What do they do about it? And if you have somebody, lots of people who wind up getting a lemon and never are able to get back hold of you, they're never gonna deal with you ever again. At least I wouldn't. But for the most part, though, like, from my experience, I've been pretty good with Artisan. I know in the past, I had a lot of friends some I trust very much that had some issues with their knives. I'm not sure if they dealt with it or not, but you know, as of lately, all the knives I've tried of theirs has been great, but that doesn't mean somebody's not going to get a lemon. There's a lot of people buying them, and it sucks when it's difficult to get a hold of them.
Don says, I can't believe it. I can believe it all. Although when I contacted Artisan about my pirate being a little wonky, they responded to me in 2 days, but I'm sure a lot of people have different experiences. And that's the issue. The customer service experience should be consistent across the board, which is why I was mentioning like how they'll respond to, you know, influencers and stuff like that. The people they're literally giving stuff away for free to, right? For the purpose of essentially advertising, they'll respond to those people very quickly. And I'm not saying like particularly Artisan in this case, because they didn't, but in general, that's sort of the case. And it's just like frustrating because the customer experience situation should be equal for everyone. Obviously, you probably got them on a good moment, a good day, whatever it is, you know, but the fact of the matter is like, I've heard this like one too many times, and it's not the first time we've gotten messages like this. And it's upsetting to me because first of all, obviously I don't want to be like in the middle of some dispute that I have nothing to do with, but at the end of the day, like I stand on the side of the consumer because as a review channel, if that's not who we are, then we are not a review channel because you can't trust us if we fall on the side. Oh, just, you know, just wait it out 3 weeks, maybe. Blah, blah, blah. No, like I don't care. I don't care if we review their knives. They need to fix it. They need to fix it.
Ecotech says, I let Artisan know they have an issue with a hob where the wood scales are too thin. Yeah, I actually seen the exact same issue. I'm not sure if I said anything about it in a video I did because I wound up getting one with that. I don't remember if I ever filmed it or if I just wound up sending it back because I had already had a prototype video. But yeah, I wasn't sure because at that time when I got them, it was in prototype phase or something. And yeah, and that was an issue I had. Nav Sale, shout out to Nav Sale. Thank you for the
just made it a sponsored video.
Bones. I appreciate it, brother. And yes, Robert. Yes, Chris Reeves is really good. You have the ability to talk to Tim Reeves just about any point. Like you can, that's part of their warranty service. So if you have an issue, you can directly do a Zoom call with them. At least to my knowledge, I've never used it. But another one that's really good. Check this out. You guys seen my video on the American Blade Works Model 1, right? And you guys seen I was having issues with it where it was failing. I never contacted him, never said anything to him. He directly contacted me and said, please send it back. I would love to just fix it for you and send you back a brand new one or it fixed.
You said in the video he would do that.
I knew he would, but I'm saying I didn't contact him. I never even brought it up to him. I just posted the video because like you guys probably already know, like, when I do a video, if there's a problem, I usually don't contact the company first and tell them what I'm going to say. Like, there's very few times where, like, a company will contact me and ask me to check something out, and I'll just tell them downright, like, you don't want to send this to me. Like, it's not going to be good for you. You know, and in that case, I'm just, you know, I just don't want to sit there and drag them and hurt the company for no reason, right? When I just know I downright think it's too expensive or this or that. But when I get something and there's a problem, 99.99% of the time, I don't go and say something, you know, just because I'm going to make the video regardless, right? And if I do go to say something, it doesn't matter because it's not going to change the video. But they contacted me and he's going to fix it, which is awesome because, dude, I love this knife. This thing is badass. I got to say, man, they are doing not only an incredible, man, this thing is so smooth, but hold on a second. They're doing an incredible work with the CNC machining, USA made. And the level of work that's going into these, you start questioning like Benchmades and stuff because it's like for the price of something like that, right? It's like, you know, a few dollars more, you can get this over a Benchmade. It's like, and then you start looking at TRMs and things like that. It's like, you know, you start wondering like, well, where's Benchmade getting their prices from? They're mass produced, right? So they have big factories. So that means they get, they should get better deals on the stuff. And then they're using the I'm not gonna say bottom of the barrel, but lower grade materials. Go ahead, baby. What's up?
Okay, 2 things. Hit the bell. Wait, let me make sure. I always say Zachariah and Zeroster backwards. Zeroster gifted 10 memberships.
Hey, thank
Shout
you,
out to
Zeroster.
you. Thank you so
brother.
much. That's a big deal. We very much appreciate it. And for those of you that just became members, we will have a members live not this Sunday, but the following one. Also, this is hilarious. Hit the bell on that. So Artisan Walker
for 20 bones
with 20 bones. Thank you so much. Says, I'm I'm not the artisan you speak of, but I own a business and sell high-end handmade wallets. I've sold hundreds of wallets and as a one-man crew. Customer service is 48 hours max. Contact back time, no excuses. First of all, hilarious that you have the same name. And
We'd love to check out some of your wallets, though.
Yeah, if you want to send some by, please do. We do wallets occasionally in the videos.
I have many videos on wallets.
They're usually not like full wallet videos, but it'll be like in a video.
I've done full wallet videos.
We have, but I'm just saying typically it's better to put it as like not an ad, but like a segment in a video where
featured.
It gets a lot of views because the video's knives.
Yeah, it's definitely better to feature them because then I can make sure I can use better titles and thumbnails in order to get a bigger audience to watch. And then I can just feature it, and it takes like 30 seconds to a minute, you know, in a video. But it also gives me the opportunity to do it multiple times because I like talking about some of the products that I use and carry because I actually use and carry them. So it's like
we really do. Like we phase out the multiple companies we've worked for in wallets. Like we both have carried said wallet. Worked with. I didn't mean for. The companies we've worked with about wallets, we each have gotten one and like legit carried it until the next company, and then we've switched and all that blah blah blah.
That's no good breaking point. Don't throw it in the garbage because continue trying to get a hold of them. Like I said, go on Instagram and tag them with your complaints.
Tag every
show them the issues. Prove it so you get an audience to watch. I know you shouldn't have to do that. I know you shouldn't have to do that, but I think that it's important to drag them. And it's like if you guys contact me, it doesn't do you any good. Like I can't just contact them. The person that I deal with from them, like she said, is a third party.
It's like
she has nothing to do with
like
the warranty
service. A lot of them hire like influencer,
they're
like
hired.
Companies who are not affiliate. Like they don't actually work at the company.
There
like, for
are
instance,
some companies we deal with like personally, but that's not one of them. So
yeah, no, unfortunately the two so far that I've heard the complaints about are not ones that we have like a direct line with. Like the one we know a designer, but he doesn't work for them. He's just a designer. Like it's, you know, it's not really like in that case.
Well, technically we do though with the one, but it doesn't matter. I buy from retailers that give me at least 30 days to return. I don't get manufacturer support. I get a refund. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Where I contact you, you can contact us on email. It's always linked at the bottom of the description.
But it's neevesknives@gmail.com, spelled exactly like this, neevesknives@gmail.com. Also, Dog1, if you're in the chat, I never got your email with your address. Please email me your address.
Is he here?
I think so. I heard someone say his name because I want to send your wife a knife, and maybe you one too. Maybe.
Aaron,
for Sarah though.
Yeah, I can't even think of which one that is. Maybe I'll check it out here in a second. Remind me if I don't. I can't think of which one that one is. American Blade Works drops weekly, but he's literally just one man. Yeah, no, I said that in the video too. That I think it's like every Friday or every other Friday or something. He drops knives. And yeah, and awesome dude. And I think he's obviously a USA company and he's one guy. So he's definitely a company to support. Obviously, all the money goes back into the business and to his family. Hey, man, let's get some butterscotch American alligator wallets up.
I'm not a big fan of the butterscotch color. I like darker leathers.
What are we talking about? Right now, we were talking about companies
slamming companies.
We're talking about companies that after you buy their product and you have an issue, getting a hold of them through warranty service, and talking about just companies that are really shitty at. Now, there are a lot of really good ones. Benchmade's a great one, right? We talked about Chris Reeves, American Blade Works. Protec's really good. Medford's really good. Like there's a lot of really good ones. But remember, all the companies I just mentioned, guess what? We're all USA made. So that's a good indicator that you're going to get good warranty service. Now, as far as overseas will go, usually Riyadh's really good. Usually We Knife Co.'s good. Usually Kaiser's good. Now I've heard of people having issues with Kaiser, but every time they've wound up taking care of it, but sometimes it's a little difficult to get a hold of them, or it takes a little while, or it takes a few weeks. But almost every single time, I've never heard, and maybe you guys can tell me if you've dealt with it, but I've never heard of a time where they just didn't replace the knife. But that's what I've heard. But I have had issues with their models.
Can you pull up the second to last?
This one?
Mm-hmm. Bought my wife, Echo Tech says, bought my wife a baby banter last year. Kara, what's another small budget knife you recommend for my wife this year? Honestly, is it called the Kaiser? What's that one I get?
Here.
Oh, yeah, this one. The
Nibbler.
The Nibbler. Yeah, God, I can't think. All I can think
I
of
got
is
another
Vox.
one, too. I
No,
got
giant
another.
mouse, giant mouse, giant mouse.
Yeah, giant mouse.
The giant mouse nibbler. Okay, so I saw these
I'm gonna help
originally.
you.
Yeah, get that up there. I saw these originally at Blade Show, and I flicked one around. And I was like, "Damn, this liner access is trash,"
They
and so
fixed
is
it,
the
though.
action. Now it's beautiful. It's you wait. What knife did he say? Baby banter. It's smaller than the banter.
I can grab it.
It's a straight
Just
thread
hold it.
popper, like just used for like
If
little
you
stuff.
want that size.
But it's so tiny, and look at this action.
Here, I have a couple.
Like straight up.
Shit. I have a couple more to show you.
Another good one though, because this one probably is like giant mouse tends to be a little overpriced all the time, in my opinion. But like this one, the vibrant colors, man, they come in some really, really pretty colors. Like any girl's gonna straight love the colors that it comes in. It is aluminum, but like still, it's
Aluminum's cool.
She'll like it. But
okay, so another knife.
Wait.
Go ahead,
So the hole deployment is iffy for some people. I will say with fingernails, it's kind of the best because the way you place your thumb in a hole, the fingernail doesn't get in it like other things, like certain flapper tabs. It can be hard with fingernails. However, there is a couple Kaisers, which are pretty much my most highly recommended ones for women. They have a lot of models that work well. I believe it's called the Shard. It was that one I gave you with all the chipped edge that I like just effed up.
Mm-hmm.
The Shard.
Yeah,
I think it's the Shard.
Yeah. Shard,
they sell one in titanium. I think they're sold out right now.
But they have the new concept one too.
Yeah, and then the new concept mini Main
Well, we
Street.
just showed it in the video yesterday. So just watch the video yesterday. But here, the mini Praxis is like 35 bucks. This is a really good one. For 35 bucks, it's a flipper. It's small. It's smaller than it even looks. Like it is a very compact knife, but you can still get a full 4-finger grip, but it's very slim, very thin. But the one that I would recommend the most right now, if you want to go a little bit bigger than the little baby banter, the new what was it? Cubid? What was it? What was it?
I don't remember, but that knife is pretty fire.
I just wrote down the name. The Cubid or something. Just give me 1 second. It is the Cubid. Yeah, the Cubid. So the Civivi Cubid. Get the one in 14C 28N. It is a mega thin blade. So this is so slicey. So slicey, super duper light, like extremely, it's all aluminum, and then the blade is so thin, it's so lightweight. Then look, you have a bottle opener on it, so you can pop a bottle. It's a button lock, so the action is really good. You can push the button and swing it, or you can just flick it. Really, really good knife. I highly recommend that one. That one's like it's good for just about everybody, whether you want a full-size knife or a small knife, because it's in the happy medium range and it's so lightweight. All right. I heard Leatherman was really good with customer service / warranty. Only talked to them once myself. I haven't heard too much about them. Like, that's a USA company. Again, like I said, most of the USA companies are going to be usually pretty good. I probably need a small knife like that. I've been EDC carrying a Cold Steel Premium Espada. Yeah, it's good to have a compact knife. I like carrying, when I carry a big knife, I like carrying a compact knife as well, because I can have one, like if I'm in, like, say if I go ship, right? If I'm at a shipping place, if I have a big ass knife, I mean, I don't care. I'll pull it out. But there are times where it's like a little bit obnoxious. And in order not to get everybody to look at you, you just pull out a different knife, like a small knife, and it works because that's all you need anyway. So it's not like you need something bigger. And it usually works out for the better. There you go. Formax Scout. That's a little smaller.
Seems logical mentioned the Lieb. So the funny thing is the Lieb is the only single model I can think of where I would absolutely hands down, no questions asked, recommend the bigger size. The small Lieb is dope, and don't get me wrong, it's one of, so like when you're thinking about getting a knife for a woman, you really need to consider the fingernail length, and I'm serious. Liner locks, when you have long fingernails, depending on how it's placed, if it's a medium to small access liner lock and your girl or whoever, sister, whatever, has nails, it's so difficult that it's going to make them not want to use it. Like the
button's good though, right?
Button locks are fire for nails. They're straight up, they're just good. The liner locks and frame locks are better. Liner locks are fine if the access is right. The Lieb does this correct. Okay, the Lieb is a liner lock access level in which nails can handle. The bigger Lieb is not so big that it's ridiculous. I will admit it's a little girthier. Don't make fun of me for saying that word, because everybody does every time I say it. But it's seriously every time there's always comments that with that word. But It has a button. It's got like slightly contoured micarta, and it just fits. It just is a good size, okay? And it just feels good in the hand. The button is super clackety and clickety, and it's fantastic. It is like, I love the little leaf though. Don't get me wrong, but that big one is fire.
We Can Jump says, I want a chaparral with bird's eye maple. This is even thinner than the chaparral, but I know why you want the chaparral. I have one too. I absolutely love it. This is a great alternative to that if you need something a little bit more affordable. I see somebody ask me if I sell knives for people. I have in the past, but no, I don't. I would recommend go to NAFSALE, KNAFSALE. He's in the chat right now. Go there. You only have to pay like 7.5% of the value, and you're protected, and so is the buyer. It's the best way to sell a knife. Just go there. Vero, yeah, Vero is really good. There's a lot of really good ones. So I hate this. I want to like just name a bunch of good ones, but I know I'll end up not naming one that I would recommend normally, because there is a lot of them. That's why I wanted to just name a couple of the ones that have been bad.
Here's the thing. Look at a site's terms of service. Like, I know, like, today in this world, we're
John Evans.
Hey, we're so used to just being like, I agree to terms of service. I agree to terms of service, and nobody reads shit, and you don't know what you're agreeing to. But like, if you go on a website, take like 5 seconds to just look at their terms of service when it comes to like what they're offering in terms of protection. NAFSALE, for instance, has been very open about the fact that they have protective measures in place. So like, if sales go sideways and stuff like that, they have stuff in place there to sort of protect that situation, because it's sort of like when you're a kid, right? And you have a sibling, and you want to trade like something, right? And you're like, 1, 2, 3, go, right? Because you don't want to do it, right? Unless you know you're going to get what you wanted. And it's sort of that situation like with NAFSALE. It's strangers selling knives to other strangers, and they do a good job of making sure that trade happens, right? That the 1, 2, 3 goes at the same time. So
all right, thank you for joining, Arrowhead. I know you're listening in the background. Todd says the Elementum is always a good one to recommend. Yes, it is, and they have the button lock one now. But I'll tell you what,
it's interesting. You guys
I recommend this one even more now. The Cupid. I definitely recommend.
I absolutely agree with that. The Elementum is good, and it has really good liner lock access. But again, nail length is a humongous factor in what kind of knife you get a girl. I'm serious. Like, if she's like a clickety clackety nail kind of person, you like flipper tabs and liner locks just like get it out of there. Thumb studs, think about it. When you have a thumb stud, you put your thumb flat, nails out of the way. So thumb studs, in which you might think would be worse, are actually better. Flipper tabs, you go like this, tink, nail broken. It's not always about being able to do, it's about breaking nails, and things are expensive. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into that. And
okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's just something that people don't consider. I don't typically keep long nails, but when I do, in fact, one of the reasons I don't is because of how much I work with knives. It's very frustrating, and I can tell you from personal experience that it absolutely matters.
Really quick, I'm gonna hit a couple more, and then we're gonna jump over to another topic. Devon says, love the channel and keep up the great work. Have you ever thought about doing firearms on your channel or a possible sister channel? No, because I am a felon, Devon, so no, I cannot. I used to be a huge firearm collector, and I was raised with firearms my whole life, hunting, just about everything. But no, now I'm a felon, so no, I cannot carry a firearm, and I cannot do videos, especially on firearms.
It's already not friendly on YouTube.
And even if I did, though, I couldn't, because it's not friendly on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it. Like
we don't want to go through all that.
You have to go through a lot for them not to mess with you. And like, if I had certain type of circumstances, then yes, I would. Like if I lived on a certain type of place, certain type of area, maybe. I am gonna go to court and try to get my rights back, but we'll see how that goes. And then I want to hit this really quick. He's saying that his Tucson still has the zipper sounds. That is the satin finish. It has nothing to do with taking a knife apart or anything like that. There's one way you can fix it, and I'll show you. But really, though, just let it break in. It's just the satin with a detent ball. The detent ball is rolling on the satin finish. That's it. There's a detent ball right here, and it's rolling on the satin finish. But what you can do is you can unlock it, get it like that, and then put pressure on the detent ball and open and close, open and close, open and close. Put a lot of pressure on it. Open and close about 100 times, and then open and close it without doing that, and just keep opening and closing it, and it'll break in. All right, let me get, what's up?
We got a member comment, sorry.
Go ahead.
Will be member for 13 months. Thank you so much for the 13 months. That's incredible. That's more than a year. I can't believe we've even had members for more than a year. And please keep in mind that for the members, we intend on increasing the content volume beyond just 2 lives. And not with more lives, but with pre-recorded stuff that's just for members. Anyway, continue. Oh, and by the way, yo, if you guys are members, before I read this comment, let me just tell you, there's 2 new emojis. We got the bang emoji and we got the toothy edge emoji. And I'm freaking obsessed with the toothy edge one. I love it. Hand drawn by yours truly. Anyway, he says, Wilby, hope everyone is having a good Wednesday. Thanks, Wilby. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you again for the 13 months.
Devon, yeah, I'm gonna try to it's a little difficult with my charge, but I'm definitely going to do my best to do it. I'm at the time limit now where I can work on it and do it. So hopefully, wish me luck because I'm definitely going to try. The Roaster with the 5 bones. Thank you guys for everything you do for the Mod Squad and the knife community. Thank you for all the support. Now we're going to go to this next topic, which is just a knife company I never heard of, never seen before. We're going to check them out real quick. All the toofies.
It's not a
toofies.
Yeah, it's toofy.
Yeah, toofy. So this is Montana Knife Company. It's a USA company. I've never seen them, never heard of them. They're doing this fillet knife in Magna Cut right now. It's actually dropping. You guys can see where it's dropping. Didn't talk to them. They didn't ask me to do this. I just seen them somewhere. I don't even know where I seen them. I think I seen they have a YouTube channel. Yeah, dude has a YouTube channel. That's where I seen him. So you can check out his YouTube channel. But they obviously have swag and stuff. But they have better knives than this. Or not better, sorry. Different knives than this. Let me, blades. You can see they have all different kinds. But it looks really cool, though. And I was checking these out. They look like some really cool little EDC knives. I'll just be honest, I'm not a fan of wrapped handles. I would prefer handles. There are some circumstances where I think it's a pretty decent idea. It's not bad. And you can see they still do G10 and things like that. So very cool knives. And you see they're doing Magna Cut. I do not know the HRC or anything like that. Cool looking kitchen knives. But yeah, badass though. And I just wanted to give them a little shout out really quick because I had never heard of them. And maybe, you know, one of these days we can get some of his stuff on the channel. I think that'd be cool. This is a cool little EDC blade. Very, very cool. So, yeah. I figured it'd be dope just to check out really quick. Well, no, let's check out the price. $325. Ooh. Okay. Maybe the price is a little too high though. Let me check out a different knife. Let me check out this knife. Let's see what the price is. $225. Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand it if he's like a one-man operation and everything, but you got to think about it. You're getting close to some of these folding knife prices. It's steep. It's steep.
The logo similar to the Medford branding? Well, because it's like somebody said it's similar to Medford. Are you saying because it's like MKC?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what is Medford?
Medford Knife and Tool. MKT.
MKT.
Knife. Oh, I mean, Medford Knife and Tool.
To be fair, though, a lot of like using the initials of your company is kind of like a common thing. Like there's only so many combinations of initials. So like, I mean, they have the state of Montana around it. I don't really like see that in Big Medford.
A $300, no, me neither. A $300 fillet knife, man, that's a bit pricey. Now I can understand it if it's a custom, but I don't know if these are customs. Maybe they are customs and that's why it is. Like I can understand if it's a custom. I truly like, I think $300 is perfect for if it's a custom, but I don't know if that's what these are. Like I said, I don't know much about these guys. I've never talked to them. That's cool looking.
Oh, yeah.
But 350 bones like though, man.
It looks like a foot.
That's steep, man. It's steep, even for USA. That's steep. Like I said, if it's custom, that's a different story.
I don't know, man. Like I said, like the one dude that I was dealing with that's making me the knife, like USA made, very well priced, but even the larger knives. So it's not even the
for how much?
The cleaver that's like this big. 150 completely custom.
That's pretty good, and that's USA. A custom, right? So that's my point.
150.
Now there's going to be a difference.
I think he's got good sources though.
There's going to be a difference, like in prices, materials, and things like that. Like, and you got to understand, like the bigger it is, and the more materials it is, the more work, everything else. So you got to take into consideration. But then also, it's not necessarily more work, but it's just more work because it's bigger, but not necessarily more work because they're putting the same effort in. Just different size, but yeah, it's a bit pricey.
We might have one of those, the knives I was referring to, the sick knives, the Spaletta Infinity. I've mentioned it last time, but we should in the future sometime have one potentially that we will be giving away. So
well, we actually are about to check something out really
Right
What the
quick.
hell?
Are
Yeah,
you? Do
one
you still have
second.
that up on the screen?
No, they can't see this.
Okay.
Okay, so somebody is possibly making us a custom chef knife right now, and we are going to
Really?
we're going to check out some of his work really quick. We've talked about him before. I think we talked about him in the last live. Damn
Oh
it!
God,
What are
what
all
are you
these
doing?
pop-ups, man?
Because your storage is just out of whack, man. You gotta delete stuff,
No,
sweetheart.
I can't because
No
of
wonder
that.
your computer runs like a dinosaur.
That's not true.
You say that all the time to me.
No, I don't say
You
that.
complain
No.
all the time.
So here is Super Steel Steve, or Steve Kalari
So.
Custom Knives. He's doing custom knives now. He is going to Blade Show, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm not sure if we're going to be sharpening some knives there or not, but you see the dates there. Me and him are actually staying in the same house together, so it's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
and
they've been sharing a room. I have my
look
own
at some
room
of
and
these
they have a
knives,
room.
man. Talk about insane geometry. Look at that denim
That's
micarta. That is
pretty.
beautiful.
I really okay. You
It's
know what,
gorgeous,
though? You know,
right?
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
something.
go
I'm gonna
ahead.
say it.
Go ahead.
I'm
Look
gonna
at that
say-
pin
Can I
work,
just
man.
say it?
Go
I
ahead.
don't like the fat scales.
I love it.
I know you guys with your big
Well,
ass
yeah, 'cause you have
hands,
bigger
want that
hands. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
palm feeling bullshit.
Yeah.
But it feels
Yeah.
like when I okay, just relax. All right? When I hold
Look at
it,
that
I feel
geometry.
weird. But like
I love it.
I like the blade shape a lot, and I think the micarta is that micarta? Yeah.
But
Is that
for,
denim micarta?
yes.
It-
yes.
Why are you angry?
Because I said that 3 times already. 5 times probably.
Do you want me to point every time out that you don't listen?
No, don't do that.
Let's not.
Don't do that.
Why are you're removing my
No,
arm
I'm not. I'm
too?
pulling it over here because it was
So many
behind my
sad
back. I
things
couldn't
are
sit back.
happening all at once.
So, but for kitchen knives though,
Yeah.
For kitchen knives,
no, yeah.
you
Oh, that's
want
true.
thick,
It's a
you want
kitchen knife.
Well, I don't know if that exact one was, but something like this
Okay,
is.
let me see this
So
one.
you want a thick handle for that, right?
This one doesn't look thick though. The kitchen knife one.
Well, you haven't turned it yet. How would you know?
I'd be knowing.
No, it's not as thick,
It's
but
not
it's but you know what? But remember the custom, so that could be specifically for somebody that has a
Someone's
big hand.
hand.
Yeah.
Because he
Not saying it is. I don't
once
know.
reached out to
That's
him
beautiful,
for
though.
cutting advice because I'm like I just like naturally am awful at cutting like chef stuff, like cutting like a chef. And he like Steve told me that
That's gorgeous.
the size of the knife that you're using and how it fits in your hand and the length of it and everything like really matters for how well you can actually cut. Which is why I'm saying like I don't like certain scales, I don't like certain lengths, because ever since he told me that and I tried knives that actually fit me properly for the kitchen, my ability to like cut in a way that's not damaging the edge and like just doing things properly like increased immediately. It wasn't my cut motion that was bad, it was just kind of like the way the knife, I don't know, it was just like wonky. It was like wearing the wrong size
So
pants.
I guess I should have just read his thing. This one is a paring knife, 65 HRC, chef cut steel. But yeah, very, very cool. So it's a 4-inch blade on a paring knife. That's badass, man. Let's check this one out. I'm not gonna play the thing because I don't know what music's playing. Yeah, Drake Up All Night, so I'll be hit pretty hard. That's dope. Look at that micarta, man. I love micarta, especially micarta like that. That's just gorgeous. And then you can see he's got micarta pins. At least that's what it looks like, or at least caps to the pins. I'm not sure. Look at that geometry. Holy shit. Look at that. It disappears. That's cutting geometry. That is cutting geometry. When you get stuff this thin, man, it just talk about staying sharp, because even if it's dull, he's got videos on it too, showing it like even when it's dull, it still continues to cut. Seems Logical says, Kara, the secret to cutting like a chef is that it's all in the fingers, kind of like a drummer. 4-finger and thumb guide the cut, bottom 3 do the lifting and dropping of the blade. I'm gonna be a motherfucking professional once I get this chef knife. What?
Did you know I used to drum?
Drum? No.
I used to have a full-on drum set. I sold it. But yeah, for like a couple of years I played the drums. It was pretty sick. I was pretty like, if you saw it, you might have been like, whoa. Like you probably would have, instead of proposing to me like in a few months, you probably would have did it like the first day. You know what I mean? See, you're not listening now. Gotcha.
I heard you said you had a drum set.
What I just say?
You had a drum set.
No, what I just say.
You had a drum set.
The chat knows.
What? Did you have a drum set? Did you used to play the drums?
I love you. Love you.
What did you say that you want me to hear?
Nothing. I was just being a butt.
You were talking to them, not me.
No, I wasn't. I was talking directly to you about marrying me. Yes.
American drummer.
I said if you had seen me, you probably, instead of proposing to me in a couple months, would have did it on day one.
Because of the drumming skills?
Yeah, I just like, doing just a full on drum.
I don't know.
And then like every time you tell a
the
joke,
opposite effect.
every time you told a joke, like when we first met, you're trying to be like more funny, or, and I would have gone, you'd be like, damn, I love having ad libs for my life.
Yeah. Everywhere I go.
Yeah. And I used to play the trombone too, so I could follow you around going, especially if you got really big. I could go when you walked. Wouldn't you have loved that?
I would have loved that. I know you're lying because cops come on at 4. I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum.
I love that movie.
I never listened to my carrot either. That mirror finish on the rock wall is pretty tough given the HRC, but it will scratch with use and with abrasive. Any polish will scratch. It doesn't matter how high the HRC is, doesn't matter what the steel is. Any steel at any HRC can scratch, even with mirror polish. Yes, it's gonna be lesser with a harder steel, but it's still gonna happen. So it's like some of the same things that might scratch, a lesser steel with a lesser HRC might not scratch or might scratch easier than something with a harder, but they'll still scratch. I guess I need to be gifted a membership to be answered. I'm ghosted, shadow banned by the Bang Gang. No, that's not true. That's not true, Spider J.
We don't do that around here.
Jared, do you think being a bow fella in life helped you being a sharpening fella? I don't know.
What's a bow fella? Because your elbow's fucked up.
No, I used to shoot bow and arrow.
I thought they were talking about your sharp elbow.
I think he's talking about just shooting
archery.
archery.
I think he's talking about that bow life because you be
dropping bows.
Yeah, show him your bow. You got a sharp bow. That thing is pointy. He broke it or something.
I don't know if it did. I don't know if you're talking about doing archery. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if that helped or not. But maybe. I mean, I don't know how that would even work, but Super Steel Steve's in the house with the 5 bones. The handle on the paring knives are a little thicker, so they are easier to handle and do in-hand cutting. Bang.
I knew he was listening.
I did too. But no, and to me, I personally, and I'm sure
that's a preference.
Most
not
guys
an issue with the knife.
Well, I was gonna say most guys probably are gonna want a little bit thicker handle. I personally do. I love it, and I've said this so many times in videos that there can be a massive difference in the performance of a knife based on the handle. And because think about this, right? Like, let's say if I give you some not super thick, but relatively robust geometry, right? But I put it on a skinny little tiny handle and tell you to push through some dense shit. You're going to be struggling. Like, it's going to feel like that knife doesn't even cut good. But now put that same exact blade on a robust, comfortable handle that's kind of like holding a fixed blade, and it'll soar through the materials. It won't fatigue you. You'll enjoy cutting, and you'll feel like the blade cuts even better. Well, now you put that on super thin, crazy cutting geometry. Come on. Chicago 23 says, Super Steel Steve, love your underwears. Made in China.
Okay. This chat has some good energy tonight.
Jared, I used to hate your videos because I never knew what you looked like, and you sounded like a neckbeard.
That's funny as shit.
What does a neckbeard sound like?
It's just like a big guy with the beard.
Thank you, Victor.
And your neck just blends into your face.
Thank you, Victor. I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
The funny thing is straight up the entire time we've had this channel, our faces both simultaneously have been shown. There was a chunk of time where you went mega tabletop review for a bit, but even then I would always encourage you to do the intro with your face, and that's pretty much don't you show your face in a lot of videos now? A lot.
I always have. I always have. There's never been a time I didn't show my face.
I think there is chunks of time though where certain people happen to see certain random videos where you haven't, and it just so
because I have a lot of videos that I don't,
and it just so works out where they never see your face.
See, the thing is I do 2 lives a week, so at least twice a week you see my face. Now in videos, maybe I know. Let me finish. Now in regular videos, I do it also. Maybe in 1 video a week, but there's going to be a lot of videos that don't have my face, but there's also a lot that do. But I can see why a lot of people might see a lot of videos that don't have my face, because I have a ton of them and will never see my face. And then all of a sudden, because I remember almost every time I show my face in a video, I'll get a comment, at least one, like, "Oh, I never knew what you look like. You look nothing like I thought."
Yeah.
Basically saying, "You ugly bastard." That's for Steve.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
What? Why? You
don't
said
listen.
bastard? You said bastard?
You just don't work.
I
You
didn't.
You really didn't hear that? We both just went like at the same time, so loud.
I thought you meant the bastard
No,
part.
I didn't
No,
say bastard. I'm a lady.
I did.
know.
I said bastard.
Why would you ever think I would say
Because
such
you're
a
the one who said jinx when I said bastard. Jesus.
thing?
My cubit just got delivered
Really?
and the handle is money. You know what? Speaking about the cubit really quick, you know, one of the awesome things, I did not go into this in the video, but I don't think I did. Maybe I did. But 14C28N. This one's obviously the Damascus version, which is a powder steel 9CR Damascus. But let's talk about the 14C, right? The 14C28N that comes on the more affordable ones, which is the one I would recommend even more than this one, even though the Damascus is great. So if you want great Damascus, this is great Damascus. But my point is those 14C28N was originally made for razor blades, right? Because it comes from AEBL. So it's made for very thin geometry, and that's what you have. So not only is the blade have really good geometry, but they're using the exact steel you would want to use for super thin geometry. So it's going to work out so good. This is about 85 thousandths at the thickest point, the point you don't even cut with. When you start getting to the point where you cut with it on the spine, it's like 75 thousandths and then 60 thousandths out here. 9 thousandths behind the edge on mine. So stupid thin geometry for 14C. That's going to make that 14C really, really shine.
Look at Anthony's super chat.
Hey, Anthony, I actually got to talk to you, bud. Thank you for the 20 bones. What's up, y'all? Good to see your faces on a Wednesday night. My son heard your voice and said, "Is that your friend?" Six Flags. There you go.
He wants to go.
Yeah.
We got to plan.
We got to do it.
Yeah, summer's a good time. We need to pick like a weekday where it's kind of like not like the best weather, so it's less crowded, but still the good.
We definitely should.
Yeah,
but yeah, I got to talk to you soon because I have a thing I'm wanting to do, and I got to talk to you about it. We'll talk soon. Hey everybody, been working the new full-time job the last couple weeks, so I'm glad I caught the stream. Soon I shall have money for some nice knives. All right, awesome, man. Well, good luck on the job, man.
Victor was saying you're a good-looking dude. It's a compliment. He was taking it as a compliment. He just has an intense voice.
What I say?
Well, just because like the way you were like, I always show my face, like you're upset. Yeah, I gotta change my pants really quick because I want to wear my matching pants.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
All right, hurry up.
I'm also uncomfortable because I have a fanny pack on. I was just at the park with children.
All right, go ahead.
You know when you go to the park with children, you gotta come strapped with the fanny pack.
It's party time,
Fanny
ladies and
pack
gentlemen.
with a fixed
Party time.
attached.
Spider G, I like that I can see you guys. Unlike Metal Complex, Metal Complex, who makes fun of imaginary people, his head is getting way too big. Laugh my ass off. Hey, I mean, I know, I understand why some people don't like to show their face. I do understand. It's just, personally for me, I don't care. And I had, because of me in my past, I had to be somebody who was very transparent. It's just the good thing to do, or the right thing to do, I should say. So because I have such a sketchy past, I have to be very open and honest so that it doesn't backfire on me and I don't wind up, being canceled because I'm lying or something. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows my face and very well. And at the very least, the people who watch will know. So did you end up keeping the brown FSD? Was surprised to see the button lock is easy to bump. No, that wasn't mine. That was just a loaner. I only had it literally for that week. But yeah, it is a bummer. I'm not sure. I heard only like one or two other people had that issue. So it's not, I don't know if it's that common. Other people did not have that issue. But I don't know how it goes with the smaller one, but it's a badass knife. I'll just be honest. I absolutely love the knife. The knife is just dope as shit all the way around. But, that was just an issue for me. And it sucks because,
You got Puppet Boy. Oh, you missed it.
Metal Complex is for a while. Puppet Boy?
Puppet Boy.
Are you at all concerned about the low HRC on the Cubit?
How do you say that name?
No, what are you talking about? Low HRC on the Cubit, the 14C, I think they do 59 to 60. On the bead blast, it's 58 to 60. Blackwash 57, 59. No, because so 14C is supposed to be heat treated between 57 and 60 on average. So most companies run it between 57 and 58. It's a steel that does still really good at the lower HRC. Don't get me wrong. At a higher HRC, yes, it's going to be better. Obviously, it's going to have better edge retention, yada, 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 but it doesn't go bad at 57 like say other steels will, right? It's just not that way. Most of the 14C you've probably ever had in your life has been 57, 58. And they normally do it at like 59 to 60 from my experience. So that's what they've always advertised. I think it was 59 to 60. The coated blades it winds up dropping a number because I guess after they heat treat it, when they put the coating on, I think it has to cook again. And then once it comes out, it lowers by 1 HRC or something after that. So that's why it's a little bit lower on coated blades on all their steels. It's because it winds up lowering after they come out the second oven with the coating or something like that. Something like that. I don't do it, so I don't know if that's the exact science. But on average, though, for their satin blades, it's 58 or 59 to 60 or 58 to 60, which is really good for 14C. That's exactly where you want it. Now, don't get me wrong. I am hopefully going to be testing at some point some 62 HRC 14C28N, but I have yet to do that. So I don't know if I doubt it'll be brittle or anything because 14C is such a tough steel already. That's why I really want to see companies go up to 61 HRC, but that doesn't mean if they're at 58 that it's bad. It doesn't mean that. Okay, good. I thought I was the only one. I cannot watch a whole of his anymore. I checked out the knife and move on. I like you guys so much, 100% more. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Which it's funny.
Faces for radio. Remember when people used to say that you have a face for radio? Remember that?
Say that again.
You remember when people used to say you have a face for radio?
Yeah, I have a radio face.
No, you don't. Why would you say that?
Why are you saying it then?
I said, do you remember when people would say that? Like, not like that you have.
You're saying don't show your face, right?
Yeah, like just use your voice. No one wants to see your face.
That means I have a good voice, so I take it as a compliment.
Well, it's not. And I wasn't saying it to you.
What do you mean it's not?
It's not a compliment. It's like saying like you shouldn't show your face.
No, it's saying you have such a beautiful voice. That's what it's saying.
But a face for radio, they don't show.
Saying I got a beautiful voice. How's everyone experience with the Tucson 14C? I have a TS 279 that I want to start using, and I was wondering how theirs is. So
I have a thing that I need to ding, by the way, like a member thing.
We want 1 second. Most companies 14C is going to be just fine. And the reason why is because the steel was originally, it comes from AEBL, right? And AEBL was originally made for razor blades, and razor blades, or the AEBL was originally designed to be heat treated for mass production. It's literally a steel made for mass producing. So most companies, if not all, are going to do just fine with that steel. That's why I recommend that steel so much. That's why I like that steel so much, because it's one steel that you can almost guarantee they're not going to fuck up, because it's made to be mass produced. Because the biggest issue with a lot of these companies isn't whether or not they can heat treat the steel. It's whether or not they can heat treat consistently across large batches of large production. And 14C is made to be able to do that very easily. It was actually originally made to be heat treated on like a conveyor belt. So obviously that's not going to be the optimal way to heat treat it, but it can do it. Go ahead.
Wait, why is he? What is happening?
The bell just got broke now.
Okay. Anyway, Daniel Cad.
Okay.
Whose message I can't see.
What?
Hold on.
You want me to just go to something else right now?
He donated membership, so I can't see it because I think they banned him. You
guys, don't do that.
Him.
Leave him alone. Unban him. Unwield him.
When you guys ban him, I can't see the thing anymore.
Yeah, now we're fucked. Now we can't even see.
I don't know what it was.
He did say something though.
He donated.
Well, thank you, Dan. You got banned, but I appreciate all the members.
Wait. No, that's Super Steel Steve. Where did it go? I just saw it. It was on my screen. I think it's ripped away. Kara, he literally asked for it.
Yeah, that sounds dope. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I really want to see 14C heat treated by somebody like Sean. I would love to see that. Now I know AEVL is similar to 14C. I personally like 14C even more, so that's why I say that. K Cormo says, yo, I'm having some trouble with my Boker Kalishnikov auto, whereby the button's sitting in the closed position after I press it, causing the knife to not lock open deployment sometimes. How do I fix that? The button sitting in the closed position after I press it, causing the knife to, so it's getting stuck. So it sounds like you need to clean it. Sounds like it needs to be cleaned. Sounds like the plunge is getting stuck somehow. So one, clean it, take it apart, clean it, oil it. No, make sure you know how to take one apart. I'm sure there's a video online on how to do it, if you need to know. But you can also try to do it with it not without taking it apart, but the best way would be to take it apart. The next thing is oil it. Oil that plunge, oil the button, because it's probably just getting stuck and it just needs some oil. So the best thing would be like something from a needle applicator so that you can get down in there really good, something like that. But that's what I would recommend. Clean it out, flush it out with some hot water and some air. Make sure you dry it out really good and then lubricate it.
Really quick, we have another gifted thing.
It is. Okay.
We've got 10 from Brad. Dude, Brad. You've been coming in clutch lately.
Shout out to Brad.
We've noticed you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Very, very kind. 10 memberships.
We notice everybody.
Guys, the next membership live is not this Sunday, but the following. So if you've just become a member, put that on your calendar. Yeah.
Roll out the red carpet. JD for EDC says, we/ZIFFIUS does a consistent base recommended HRC on their steel. They perform well. I'm actually going to test some of their steels very, very soon to see not how consistent it is, but to see where it's really at, because somebody told me they tested like 5 of their blades of their 20 CV and they all came out higher than they actually say theirs is. So we'll see.
I'm just gonna.
He asked to be timed out.
No, he did. I'm gonna start calling him Dan the Band Man, because he's literally like the king of bands. It won't like YouTube won't ever freak out like, oh, you've banned this guy so many times.
You were just kicking him off.
They'll just eliminate him.
Maybe no, because I think they know people fuck around.
Imagine if they just incinerated his profile completely.
You're not even allowed on YouTube anymore.
Perma-banned from YouTube. They got his IP address.
25 channels have banned.
He can't even get through with a VPN. He's just full ban.
Calling me on the phone. I can't even get a new YouTube handle at all.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just banned.
Screwed. They got
Paul
his IP.
Mill says, hey, Jared, do you own a Rask? No, I do not. I've never even tried the Rask, but I would love to try the Rask. I like the way it looks. Do bearing racetracks rust over time similar to hardware, or any major differences? You was talking about this last stream. So it depends. Usually no. Now, if lemon juice gets down on them and then it doesn't get a chance to dry, that's why if you keep it oiled, you won't have to worry about that, because moisture won't be able to impact it. However, usually it's like marine grade stainless steel that's hardened, so it's usually a very high stainless steel, so it's usually not much of a factor. Now, I'm not saying some companies might not use some other steels that might rust a little bit easier, but keep your bearings oiled. That's it. If you keep them oiled, then the track's going to be oiled and it'll never have to worry about moisture. Yes.
Okay, so Rich EDC says, what is a good way to start learning how to sharpen your knife? A work, precision, or stones?
So it depends, because it depends on the effort you're wanting to put. So I would say it's going to be more rewarding, and it's going to be more rewarding if you do freehand, but you're going to have to put in 10 times the effort. That's the thing. So if you don't want to put in the effort, and the rewarding part doesn't mean anything to you, like it doesn't mean anything to you to know how to do it freehand, because there's a lot of benefits to doing it freehand. Once you know how to freehand, you can sharpen anything. That's one thing. Number 2, you can sharpen anywhere. Number 3, you can sharpen on anything. So it gives you a lot of versatility, like you could be on the job, out hunting, whatever, right? You could be running from a zombie apocalypse and need to sharpen your knife out in a field on a rock, and you can fucking make it happen. But a fixed angle system will, if you know the details, which I do have a tips and tricks video coming very soon that's open to the public, where I will explain exactly how to get like a high performance edge off of a fixed angle system. But it's going to be easier for you to obtain that on a fixed angle system, but you still need to know what to do. So there's still efforts involved. It's just it's going to be easier. So, you know, it just depends on the effort you're willing to put in.
You got the versatility correction again.
Whatever.
Hey, Irked Particle said, oh, y'all might find, are you listening? Irked Particle said, I just want to make sure because I heard you clicking. Irked Particle said, oh, y'all might find this interesting. I sharpened a large, I don't know how to say this, striz last week for a buddy, and when I took it apart to clean, one of the washers was partially broken. It was still unusable, but had pieces broken off in the bearing race. What brand is that knife? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
A Stritz.
Thank you for joining Knives Fast. Shout out to him. Definitely go and check out his YouTube channel. And thank you for coming in, man.
What is a super wrench? You guys,
Michael Morgan. Shout out to Michael Morgan. What's up, baby?
I don't know. Last time they were talking about a super wrench. I don't know what that is. A super wrench. What is that?
A super wrench?
Yeah, Kyle.
Sounds like a wrench.
Kyle said something about it last night. I don't know what it is.
Sharpening by hand is the way to go. You will thank yourself later. I agree with that. And that's what I mean. I think it's way more rewarding. However, I do understand why some people can't do it. Like, it does take effort. It does take some effort. It does take patience. It takes hand control. Like, I'm good at stuff like that, and I've always have been, because like I started trying to sharpen since I was like a kid. Not saying I was good at it, shitty edges, but I still tried. So, and then I've used and sharpened tools my whole life. Like, I've been using tools my entire life since I was a little baby. So tools have always been just, you know, a normal thing to me. And like sharpening tools, you know, whether it was from chainsaw blades to whatever, I've always done it. So, you know, I'm probably a little bit better at it. And I think I have a little bit better muscle memory, but I still think that everybody can pick it up. Everybody can pick it up for the most part, as long as you have the ability to hold something, right? As long as you have that ability, patience, and a little bit of muscle memory. Like, if you're okay at muscle memory, eventually you'll get the muscle memory, but the patience part's got to come in, because you're not going to get it right off the bat, and you're going to fail, you're going to fail, you're going to fail. But me, I'm like, I got so much tenacity in me. Like, when I start failing, that makes me want to push harder. Like, that's just the way I am. Like, I was like, I literally spent like damn near every day sharpening multiple knives, like for months, trying to learn, because I wanted to make sure that I could come in to the community and not only know what I'm talking about, but be able to show results. Like, I hated the thought of me being like a knife guy and, you know, not knowing how to sharpen or not having the results from sharpening like I seen from so many other people. I realize now it's not as big of a deal as I made it. And, you know, using a fixed angle system, there's nothing wrong with it. I picked up freehand so quickly since I work at a bakery, so I got to practice on 7 knives every week. There you go. Have you tried Gillian salt and pepper bearings? I haven't noticed much difference between them and skiffs. Yes, I have. I've a video on them. Yeah, there's not going to be much difference between those, because they're basically made the exact same way. The salt and peppers are supposed to have a little bit more slickness to them, because the white bearings have like a higher slickness ratio or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but they're going to be the same. Hey, shout out to Stasa 23. Hey. I would go freehand all day, and if I could still do it good, I would definitely do it. Shout out to Stasa 23. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel as well. And yeah, and I know that because I've talked to so many people that literally just can't do it. Like, they can't. Like, whether they have you know, carpal tunnel, whether they just, you know, they don't have the patience or the time, because like, I understand being busy, and I understand it not being a priority. Like, just because you need a sharp knife doesn't mean it's prioritized over maybe your children, your work, your whatever, making money, right? Because you might be thinking like, man, I'm sitting here losing money. I got that mindset too. So if it's not that much, if it's not rewarding to you, then it doesn't matter. But if it is rewarding to you, then I think it's well worth it. But a fixed angle system does fix a lot of those issues. So it's awesome. And a lot of people use them. A lot of people use them, and they get amazing, amazing edges. Now, I'm not going to say that freehand is better than fixed angle system or vice versa. Sometimes freehand's better. Sometimes fixed angle system is better. It just depends. Like, and for an example, right? Like with freehand, you can fix certain things better and easier, and you can get like more contact on the stone than and on the blade, so the blade or the edge can come out a little bit better if you're really good, meaning like for like a polish or something like that. Like you can get all the scratches out a little bit easier with freehand than on a fixed angle system. Not saying you can't do it with a fixed angle system, it's just easier on freehand. Then another thing is you can semi-convex an edge, meaning like it's not a full convex and it's not a V grind, it's a semi-convex, which makes the edge super slicey, but it gives it a little bit more toughness. So that knife or that edge can possibly have a lower angle for maximum cutting performance, but also have a little bit more toughness to it. So it's not as fragile if you're trying to use low angles. So there is some benefits to that. Now, a fixed angle system, obviously for a V grind, you're going to get them nice, flat, perfect flat sides. You can do that freehand too, though. Like I can get perfectly flat V ground edges without an issue, like 100% perfectly flat. Some people say it's impossible freehand. That's bullshit. I can 100% get a perfectly flat edge bevel. It just takes a lot of effort and experience. Yes, babe. Go ahead.
Dr.
Yes, I have.
Dude wants to know what's a good portable knife sharpener to bring with you camping or on a job site.
The Work Sharp. What were you about to say?
That little one.
Work Sharp Field Sharpener. The Work Sharp Field Sharpener.
Oh, the little.
I have many videos on it. Many videos on it.
I just wanted to jinx with you again.
And I also, and I also have it linked down in the Neeves Knife store.
Owe me 2 sodas.
Go to the Neeves Knife store, or you can go to our Work Sharp link. But the Neeves Knife store should have one down in there. But yeah, that and I highly recommend everybody to have those.
The
regardless.
roaster also jinxed with us because he said Jared's probably going to say the Work Sharp Field Sharpener.
Yes, he will. But if you guys know, then that means you're
Honestly,
right.
Guys, have our
I'm not bullshitting.
Answer the questions.
But that's because I'm not bullshitting though, because like my answer is consistent because that's really what I genuinely recommend. Right? Like I don't go off of like, and if there is something better when it comes around, I'll say it. Or if you want something better, because maybe that is really good for most people and it's great pocket one and it's great for work and hunting and fishing and things like that. But maybe you want something a little bit bigger, right? That is a little bit better. And in that case, I can recommend something else.
Puppet Boy says, is it true you have to be very good at sharpening to maintain the secondary point on a tanto? That's a very good question.
Say that again.
Is it true you have to be like, well, I mean, I don't know what level of good you mean, but like really good at sharpening to maintain the second point on a tanto? I'm assuming he means
for
like
freehand, yes. For freehand, yes.
What do you mean by really good? Like, what does that mean?
For freehand, yes, because you have to understand, because you can mess it up very easily. That's the reason. You can mess it up and make it very uneven very easily. So it's not that you have to be super good. You see, you gotta be patient and you got to understand it. A lot of times with sharpening, aside from the muscle memory, it's just the understanding of what's going on. And that usually comes with experience. You know, like say if you see something starting to happen, if you don't know what's happening right now, you'll continue. And that's where the damage will come in, or that's when the problems will come in. But if you know exactly what's happening, you'll know, okay, switch to the other side or whatever to even it out. And yeah, I'm sure you would, Rich. So I'm sure. Just one more. It's what everybody needs.
Fiend actually has like an understanding of sharpening from a perspective that I don't think about sometimes. Some of the stuff he says regarding sharpening. I don't even know. Kilo Fiend, do you sharpen like just on your own? I'm just curious. But he said to maintain the perfect, secondary point on a tanto, you actually have to perfectly align 4 edges for it to maintain, right? Because you have both the apexes as well as the little angle you want.
Yeah, but you only have to think about it one side at a time. That's one beautiful thing. So you have to only think about 2 at a time. But yes, in the end, you have to worry about all 4 because you do have to switch sides and work on the other sides. But then at that point, you're working on 2 again. But if like once you've done a bunch of them, they get easier and easier and easier and easier. And it's really not that difficult. It's just, it's difficult to people that don't have the muscle memory.
So far.
Well, they can hear you just fine, baby. It's turned up. They can hear you. Trust me.
No, I sound like I'm probably across the room.
No, you don't. I used a pull-through sharpener today. I feel dirty. You should feel dirty. How dare you? I still need to do a video on why you shouldn't do that. And I'm going to. I want to make sure it's a good quality video. So, you know what?
I want to make it.
Let me write that down.
I'm going to make the thumbnail be like.
Where's my pen?
I don't know, sweetheart. I'm gonna make the thumbnail be like I don't know, like something to basically like shame people without shaming them for using them. You know what I mean?
What? Shame them?
Yeah, not like shame, not like oh you
Not like
you
Shane
effed up.
Gables. Not
but,
like Shane Gables.
No, but like basically being like you messed up getting this. Do you know what I mean? Like you're ruining your knives with this arrow pointing to the sharpener. Dude, I'm the thumbnail queen. I love making thumbnails. It's like half my job.
Lace says, anyone that knows me knows that I have hobbies galore, and freehand sharpening is far and away the single most rewarding hobby I have. I've taught many people freehand. Only one I couldn't because is that because? I also want to shout out because I just mentioned his name. He's in the chat somewhere. Let me find his name.
Oh,
Shane.
why do I keep yawning?
Well, shout out to Shane Gables. His channel's in here somewhere.
Dude, Shane did
I
a
can't
fire
find it, so I can't
reaction
say
the other
nothing.
day. Shane, you should just honestly, not saying don't talk about knives because you did that, but you should just low-key go reaction channel. That reaction you did the other day on that song about mental health, just your comments were so intelligent and
He does
so
that with his knife
thoughtful.
videos too, though.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that like he could like actually make that be a thing. Like you're really good at it. Really, really good.
A lot of people say that, Fiend. A lot of people don't find it rewarding, and a lot of people do not find it therapeutic. I know it's difficult to find something therapeutic that's difficult, right? Because it's like when you're fucking something up and you're not good at it, it's like, how is this therapeutic? It becomes therapeutic when you start getting the groove. Like, give yourself 30 days to get a groove. Give yourself 30 days every day attempting it. By day 30, you should have a groove set. Right. And then from that point on, it becomes rewarding.
Really quick, I have an interesting question for you.
Yes, dog one.
Sweetheart, I have a question for you that's kind of unique. Okay. Aside from anything related to knives, nothing related to knives, what is your next most rewarding hobby or interest that you have?
Loving my baby.
No, don't say no. It wasn't a test. You didn't have to do that. I was serious.
It was a test.
No, like a real thing. I'm not real. I'm an imagination.
Besides sharpening or besides knives, period?
No knife stuff. I'm saying, what is the most rewarding hobby you have that's not knife related?
I enjoy helping people.
It's not a hobby.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a specific interest.
Well, like I don't really do much else besides work. So right now, but like in the past, you mean?
But like you have.
Okay, so like in the past, I was really into hunting. I was really into archery. I was really into firearms. I've always been into like combat sports, things like that.
You think that's rewarding?
Dog training, yes. Dog training is another one.
Rewarding, or was the most rewarding? That's what I'm asking you.
Oh, cars probably to me. I love.
What did you do with cars?
I fucking
not have a Porsche.
Exactly. That's my problem.
You'll have one.
I will.
Yeah. When we got married, he literally was like, "I'm gonna have a Porsche one day. That's part of this." And he wrote a This man literally, the day before we got married, hands me a contract with like all these stipulations in it, and one of the things was about the Porsche. And so he handed it to me, but he didn't supervise it, and it wasn't notarized prior.
Oh, it is perfectly.
No, I just
lawyer approved.
I just crossed out the Porsche part and signed it and was like, "Here you go."
No, that doesn't work.
It didn't work. He countered it and fixed it and all that jazz. It was just a joke, but
because it wasn't a joke to me. Nice Fast says you can come make my thumbnails. I'm horrible at titles, anthem, and the nails. She's actually been doing.
I thought Stasa just said that to me. Did you guys both say the same thing?
I don't know, but Kara's actually been creating these masterful thumbnails lately. She's been doing such a good job with it because like I have like a picture, right? Because what I do is, just so you guys know, my juice lately.
It's a vision.
My vision lately is before I ever even make a video or think of like the knives or anything like that. And this can't go for every video because some videos you actually have to, have a video like, you have things coming in and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the big videos, the videos I love doing the most, right? The videos I put the most effort into, I try to think of a thumbnail and title that will be captivating, something that you guys will love, enjoy, and want to see the most. Then I build inside my head the actual thumbnail of what that would be, and I draw it on a piece of paper in like stick figure form, where it's like just like a sketching of like basically what it would be. I'd show you guys one of them right now if you guys want to see one, and then I show it to her and I tell her this is what I want, and then she creates it in her mind and she fucking makes it happen. Now
like in
I do the same thing with the titles. Right after I do that, I start creating titles, and I create like 20 of them, and I pick which one I think is the best, and it'll be the best in order to get you guys to click. But the whole point of it isn't just to get you guys to click, it's to get you guys to click on a video that I know I've put a lot of work into, that I think you guys will enjoy, because it doesn't do me any good to get you guys to click unless if I can perform, or unless if I can, you know, give you guys something good to watch. So but that comes third. That doesn't come first, it doesn't come second, it comes third. Third is that. The first is the title and thumbnail.
And the reason why is because when we used to make like, so I would like help with the thumbnails, right? And it would always be really, I know I told him I would totally do that. It would always be really frustrating because like I would go to do the thumbnail, right? And then like we're like idea machines, like bouncing off each other. So like he says a thing and I'm like, oh well, maybe we should do this thing, and he's like, yeah, we can do this thing, and you know, it's like brainstorming right together. But what would happen is we would go to make like a thumbnail and a title after he's filmed this video. Yeah. And so then maybe I have this really catchy, good idea. The worst
thing to do, by the way, if you have a channel.
Yeah. So then then I would have this idea for a thumbnail that's like super catchy, right? But I couldn't do it because he didn't touch on that in a video. So like if I wanted like, okay, like say that one we just put out with like the Elementum, the however you say that one, quit, whatever it's called. We put that out and I wrote on the thumbnail, like it's the Elementum killer, right? Like it could be whatever. So previously, if he makes the video first and doesn't put the Elementum in the video, or does but doesn't really compare it, then that idea for the thumbnail is completely pointless, and I can't make it because you can't have them click on a thumbnail and then you don't address the thing in the thumbnail. And so that would happen a lot. So this system works like a damn charm. It's so much better to do the thumbnail.
I'll show you guys one I'm working on right now, and then I'll show you one I've already finished. Give me 1 second. So this is a video that's coming soon. I'm not sure if this will be the thumbnail, but this was an idea I started having, and this is about the MSI. So I'm doing the Microtech MSI video where I'm going to do an edge retention test. I'm going to test the lock strength. So if you look at it, I know it's just a sketch. So like this would be like the lock right here, and then like an arrow pointing to it. Is it strong? And then you'd see the handle. Then you'll see it actually making a cut and talking about me doing a cut test. Like, is the steel any good? Because I'm going to do the test. So, but this is one where I already know what I'm doing first. So it almost doesn't count for this. Now, here's one that I did, and you guys can go look at the thumbnail right now. And it was basically just, and it's simple, but it just is the sharpener. Right, this is the workshop sharpener. I do the sharpener and then the words next to it, right, that are going to be a little bit more captivating. I have a ton more, but I ripped them up and threw them away because I was done with them, that were really good. And if you go look at the thumbnail right now, you'll be like, damn, that's exactly like what he drew.
Okay, can I just say really quick two things? Really quick, and then I'm going to get to your thing, Daniel. Somebody earlier asked, like, why do people change thumbnails after they've been put up? And then Irked Particle asked, why do people always put arrows pointing at stuff? So really quick, so the reason people switch thumbnails after videos have been posted,
because they're not doing good,
is simply because the video is not performing well. And so what they're trying to do is improve something called CTR, which is click-through rate.
And you have to do more than that, though, just so they know. You don't just change the thumbnail. You also have to change 2 tags, and you have to change a couple things in your description in order for it to work, because YouTube won't
recognize it as being different,
right? And then they won't give it to anybody else. But if you do some different things, YouTube will recognize that you changed it, and they'll send it out to more people.
Anyway, and then the other thing about the arrows, it is so effing funny that you said that, Earth Particle, because it is, I don't know what is with the human perspective, but basically, like, and I read this kind of psychology about thumbnails, this whole like thing I was watching, and one of the things they mentioned is that if you have a human face in the thumbnail, you want their eyes to be looking at the thing that's the point of the video. So if you're making a video about cutting watermelons or whatever, and there's like an action shot of someone slicing a watermelon, you want a face in there or an arrow, right, pointing at the thing, because it draws, without you realizing it, it draws the eyes to the point of the thumbnail. If you just slap crap on a thumbnail and you don't really point to the reason or the point of the thumbnail, then like the human eye doesn't process the image in the same way and say, ooh, I need to see what that is. I straight up can make a thumbnail, put it out there, if I put the same one out there with a freaking arrow pointing to the thing, it does like 50 times better. It is absolutely insane. It works.
Todd, no, I don't have a microscope thing. I want to get one because there's a lot of things I want to do with it. I'm going to get to Daniel Cad really quick.
There's
but
like a bunch of them.
the thing with the thumbnail and the description, or sorry, thumbnail, title, and description, right? Because those are the three things that matter the most. The most important part is just thumbnail and title. And the reason why is because it doesn't matter what's in the video. Not saying that it absolutely doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter what's in the video on whether or not they're going to click, right? So you have to make sure that they see something that actually entices them and makes them want to click. Being a good video, you can have the greatest video in the world right now, literally the best video that would go the most mega viral that a video could ever go right now. And you can literally ruin it all just with the thumbnail and title. And that video, that exact same video that would have been mega viral will absolutely 100% tank, because when they do give you impressions is where your CTR rating comes from, and that's where YouTube suggests you, right? When YouTube does suggest you and you're scrolling by and you see that thumbnail go by, did you stop? Did you stop and look at it? Or did you just scroll past because it was kind of shitty? And then when you seen the thumbnail, did you look at the title? Was the title any good? Because you might have looked at the thumbnail and looked at the title and said, nah. But if you look at the thumbnail and you're like, ooh, and then the title, ooh, and you're like, I gotta at least click. Now that very good fucking quality video you have can make a difference.
It's one of the same reasons why you don't want to, I always like say this, you don't want to use the real estate in your thumbnail. You got to go back way more for the donos. You're missing like 5.
I didn't see any.
No, I'm just saying scroll back all the way to the beginning of Daniel's.
What are you talking?
That might be the first Daniel.
This is the first
you're that
one.
far back. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to get
sorry,
to.
Anyway, point being is that you don't want to use up the real estate in your thumbnail for the same words that's in your title. If you make a video and you're like, oh, the Elementum is so great, don't put in the thumbnail, great Elementum. You just wasted free real estate to advertise your video better. Like there's a lot, like doing SEO in regards to YouTube is a very nuanced thing, and it's a very much trial and error situation. It's so much different than like say working on like through WordPress on a blog and trying to deal with that sort of SEO with, you know, just typical Google AdSense or getting on Mediavine or all those things where you can kind of boost your thing up with ads on your page. That sort of SEO and getting your search results high on Google is different from YouTube. But with YouTube, because they're one and the same with Google, you not only have to worry about your SEO in regards to YouTube, but also in regards to Google, because most people that find our videos find them from typing crap into Google, not YouTube. So and it's different because they don't always, you know, show up in the same way as they do in YouTube search. So it's like you got to think about both.
There's a lot of angles you have to think of, but the number one, number two is thumbnail and title. And then
crit for a thumbnail.
Then pacing, because pacing will determine whether or not YouTube suggests it. Because okay, so you have your click-through ratio, which is when people see your video, do they click, right? How many people seen your video versus how many people seen it and clicked. Now, what's going to determine how many people they send it to is going to be how your pace was in the video, because of how their attention span was. If people start watching 15 seconds in and click off, you're fucked. Your video's fucked. But if they watched for like over 60 seconds and longer, then it's going to do good in the algorithm. And it's basically like a song, like a beat to a song. You have to have a good pace. If you don't, and you have dead space, dead air, you talk about something too long and then talk about this too short and talk about this too long and then this too short, they're not going to like it. Like it's not like a song, right? It's not paced well. So you want to make sure it's paced well, like a song. You don't talk about anything too long, but you want to put just enough information. If you have something that you can explain in 3 sentences, figure out how to say it in 1 sentence. That's the way you get a good pace. Daniel Cad with the 5 bones. Wonderful. What did I miss? People think I'm in a timeout corner. I'm actually in my NEEVESKNIVES trophy. Collecting trophies over there. Daniel Cad with another 5 bones. Thank you, man, for all the dude, I appreciate all the support. Like them, but I don't need a ding ding if the pockets go ching ching. There you go. Dude, thank you, man. And then we got another cha-ching back at you, Daniel Cad. Thank you, Chris, for the 5 bones. Shout out to Chris. He's also just started a channel, so go and check his channel out. It's on YouTube. He also has an Instagram. Captain Aloha with the 5 bones. Yo, Neves, Captain Aloha here with the dirty old wizard Uncle Walt watching from the Northwest side. Shout out to the Northwest side. We'd like your input on vintage stone we picked up. Email image. Yeah, just email it to me. I'll check it out. What?
We'd like your input on a vintage stone we picked up. Email image. Didn't
He's
we
gonna
do this for somebody recently? Yeah, go ahead and email it to neepsknives@gmail.com. I'll look at
did
it
we
right now.
yeah, did we already look at it? Because
No,
we did
no,
this
I think it's a different person.
Yeah.
That's why, it's weird that you said that. We literally just had somebody do this in a members live a couple
But
weeks
yeah,
ago.
send it to us. I'll check it out. So there's some very, very expensive, high quality stones, but you got to know what you're looking for. And I'm not saying I'm like an expert at it, but I know some stones. DJ with the 5 bones. Let's go, guys. He always comes through with great content. Let's keep it going, DJ. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all the love and support, man. It definitely encourages us to do better always, and I love the constructive criticism you guys give me in the comments, because I am trying my damnedest over the next 6 months to really evolve this channel into something that you guys literally absolutely love, because I know there's going to be videos that are like that I have to fill in between like the really good videos, and they're going to be a little bit faster, right? Like kind of like the videos you've seen today. They're not the videos I work really hard on, but but I have lots of videos coming up, right? And like once or twice a week, I'm going to try to do these really good videos, and I'm hoping after about 6 months I'm really good at it and I'm able to provide this exact type of content all the time in even a better way, to where it's more professional. The information's really good. All the things in the video that literally make it to where you don't want to miss it. Like, because I never want, and I've said this a million times, I don't want you guys to watch because you guys want to give me a view. I don't want you guys to watch because of any sort of pity or you guys think you should. I want you guys to show up because you can't miss it, because you don't want to miss it, because you love the information. You love just everything about it. That's what I want. And I want to get the likes from that same thing. I want to get you guys to use my links for the exact same reason, because you guys trust what I'm saying and you guys believe what I'm saying. Shout out to Ian Neves. You mind hugs? I'm gonna give you. I'm a hugger, man. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. You sound like you've been learning the script from Mr. Beast with the rhythm and minimal dead or downtime. I have actually learned a lot. I actually watched a video recently. Well, Mr. Beast made a script on how to make a viral video. So what I did was I watched another video where a guy studied all the channels that constantly go viral. So he studied viral videos and videos that constantly go viral. Not videos, but channels, right? So, and then he figured out exactly what was similar between all the videos, and it was the exact same thing. And so I wrote down a script on exactly what all those details are, and I'm trying to implement all those details in all my future videos. So, and so far every single one of them, it's done well. Now the point is that doesn't mean every time you do it your video is going to go viral. The point is that all you need is one to go viral. If you can get one video every 6 months to go viral, that's amazing, right? So the point is, and if you can get one once a month, right, that's absolutely amazing. And if you can always get it, that's even crazier, right? That's insane. But all you got to get is one, right? So what you want to do is do this type of content so that you're at least ready to go viral, so that the video has the opportunity to go viral. And otherwise, and what you'll see is, yes, the video might get great numbers, but not quite viral. But you'll eventually get one, because this encourages YouTube to start sharing your content, because YouTube sees your arrows are always green, your arrows are always green, your arrows are always green. So then they start recommending you to more people and more people and more people. Then eventually you'll hit a big one, and everybody will watch, and everybody will like it, and everybody will comment, and your watch time will be really good, and YouTube will send it out to everybody, and then you'll have an opportunity to go viral.
You have another ding.
Daniel Cad with another 5 bones. You could put out crap videos and we would still love you both. Your personality trumps content. And thank you, man. I appreciate that, but I still want to put out good content, because you know I need the masses to watch, which is difficult to get.
I have
Yes.
a question for you.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Frank. That rhymes. Love.
Yes,
love
baby.
my
I'm
life. I have
listening.
a
I'm
question.
listening. I'm listening.
Well, if you did not have a knife channel, let's just say they canceled knives from existence on YouTube, or like you just never did this, what would your channel have been about?
You know what? The exercise would have been the answer to
No,
the
but
other
at the
one.
time
No,
that-
wait. You asked me about the hobby earlier.
I know, but
and I'm just telling you, exercise now. That's my
no,
that's
I'm saying,
my
but at
hobby
the
now.
time that you started the channel, if it hadn't been knives, like back then.
Probably. So
Like
I want to start
construction or
I want to
something?
start a men's channel. So I would love to start a dog training channel, but I have to have an area and a place to do that.
In a dog.
And a lot of dogs, not just
Yeah.
one dog, multiple dogs.
You
And
could borrow
I used
dogs.
to have the ability to do that, but I
Yeah.
don't now. So I would love to have a firearm channel, but I can't do that because YouTube doesn't like that. So, and I would love, so another channel that I'm probably going to start is a men's channel. So it's basically just kind of lean towards men, not like 100%, like females will still be involved, and possibly a lot of times
Like
because
the female opinion.
right, and things like that, but it's going to be in a way to where men can get better, because I want to see men win so bad. I'm sad when I look around and I see so many men in like in very bad places, mentally, physically, just in all ways, right? So it makes me sad, because I know how important and how detrimental it is for men to run society. Without men, our society fucking crumbles, and we need to build up men again, because there's a lot of
Isn't
fucking
it like good times or what's the thing? It's like hard times make strong men, or strong men
make good times.
Good. Yeah,
good
hard
times
men make strong men. Strong men make good times make
weak men.
Weak men, and
weak
men make hard times.
Right.
I think we're in the maybe the weak.
Right. And I think that there's a lot of men out there that just they need a boot in the ass. They need somebody that kind of has been down the road or understands to kind of inspire them, or maybe even just give them some good information. And it's amazing to me how many, like, because you got to think, like, I can sit here and name numbers. There are so many men that do not have fathers, right? That never had a father, that never, so who are they supposed to learn from? Go ahead.
It's very easy as an individual, man or woman, to
thank you,
allow
Joe.
yourself to collapse in on yourself, if you know what I mean. Right? Like if something goes wrong, there's like you come to a fork in the road. Like if something goes wrong in your life, you have the choice to say, I'm either going to allow this thing to be another check on the list and be like, well, I just am not going to try because bad things happen to me. And so I'm putting that on the list of bad things, and it just makes me not want to try more because fuck it, it's already happened, it's already bad. Or in that fork in the road, you can choose to be the person that says this bad thing has happened to me, or I caused it, or I didn't, or someone did it to me. And instead of falling into that and saying, oh, well, it's already ruined, I'm just not going to try, you can be the person that picks yourself up and says, well, I'm going to use this bad thing as fuel to never have the bad thing or situation or life or whatever happen to me again. And the thing
bad things can be the best thing that could ever happen
in
to
human
you.
psychology, when you like look at various studies, it always shows that people, the human race, instinctually tends to not want to go through a hard thing for a short time, even if they know that hard thing for a short time will get them to the greater good. A great example would be like drug withdrawal. It's one of the reasons people stay addicted. They don't want to go through the pain of withdrawal for a week, couple weeks, whatever,
month,
even if it gets them to the ultimate greater good. Instead, they stay entrapped in the situation over and over and over. And at a certain point, that is what it becomes about. You can apply that same thing to so many situations, like working out. You want to lose weight, right? People know they have to exercise, eat well, and they'll feel so good. They'll look good. They'll love themselves. But they won't. Did you just mute me?
No, I muted just.
That's what they want, but they won't do it because it is difficult, and I completely sympathize with it. But it is, at the end of the day, comes down to some point of willpower. There's a lot of things that affect people's minds that are not about willpower, and I get that. But at a certain point, it does come down to free will. If you're going to choose to get the help, if you're going to choose to do the thing, like it does come down to that.
I think a lot of times you have to have fight in you, right? Because it's like everybody's going to have horrible things happen. Everybody's going to be knocked down. Everybody's going to run through bad shit, right? So, but I think people need to realize that even though it feels like it's the worst thing ever, in many cases, it's the best thing that can happen. So many times in my life where something so bad has happened, it has turned out to have been maybe not like a good thing to say, but it's created me in a different way. It's built me up in different ways. It's made me stronger in different ways. And it's kind of like that saying goes, I asked God for strength, so he gave me hard shit. right? So
Yeah,
you
that's
want to be
totally
a
how the saying
you
goes.
want
I
to
think
be
they
a,
wrote that in the Bible.
just like that,
Just like
just
that.
like that. But but it makes sense though, right? Like if you want to be tough, if you want to be strong, if you want to be hard, well then you have to fucking go through some hard shit, right? Crazy Abe
Some
says most
no-nos.
channels I just watch to see the knife and skip through most of the incoherent rambling. If I want some actual useful info and an opinion I can trust, I'm checking your stuff first. Thank you, Crazy. I appreciate that, Crazy Abe. I appreciate that so much because I try super hard to get right to it, right to the point, and get through it fast. Like I try not to just beat you guys up. And listen, I know in the past I've had videos like that, but like all my videos for the past year have been very fast, very consistent, and it's just going to get better and better. My information is going to get better. It's going to be shortened down, and it's going to be put in place very, very well and appropriately.
You gotta scroll back far.
I know. I'm going to get to these right now.
All the way till you see pink. No, keep going.
Captain F just logged on, so missed prior stone request. Email sent Kara. Uncle Walt wants to know if you've got any tri-edge blades laying around. Tri-edge blades. We actually do. I don't know what you mean by you're talking about the whoa, Brad.
Wait, whoa, finish.
I know. I'm about to. Okay. So the tri-blade, I do have one actually coming because I have a video I'm about to do. If that's the type of tri-blade you're talking about, I'm not sure. You're talking about like the one like the one for stabbing. Is that the one you're talking about? Brad, holy cow, man. Thank you for the 50 bones. Check the Lepan digital scope with 7-inch screen and 1500 max mag. If that works, I'll send the balance. That's awesome. I actually have something like that. I'm not sure if it's that exact one, but the problem is I only have like this much room to get something under there to really make it work. I can maybe try to take it out and like hold it up to something. I've never tried that. Maybe I could. I just need to mess with it a little bit more, but I do have something like that, but I mostly just use it to show edges, like to show, because that's really all it's really good for me personally, but maybe I can mess with it. Maybe I can take it out of the thing. Brad, I appreciate the 50 bones so much, man. And I will, I'll look into exactly what you're saying, because I think I might have that. And Captain Aloha, thank you again for the 5 bones.
Captain Aloha, what exactly are you wanting to hear from Jared about these stones? Like, what's your question? Just like I just don't know, like, you know, what angle, like what you want to know.
Okay, so this is an aluminum oxide. So this is an aluminum oxide oil stone.
Well, yeah, it just says.
Yeah, this is an oil stone. I've had many of. I have many of them. So let me get rid of that. So it's an oil stone. So you got to make sure you degrease it. It's probably been through a lot. So what I would do is I would boil it in a degreaser. So just get like a pot of hot fucking water. Put some degreaser in there. Drop the stone in there for like, I don't know, a couple hours, few hours. Then rinse it out, and then make sure you rinse it out really good with just hot water after that. Then start using it again. You might have to resurface it by getting a stone flattener or maybe some silica carbide powder and get a sheet of glass or something so that you can flatten it, and that should clean it up for you. Daniel Cad with the 5 bone skis got a steel toe and a timeout corner for all the weak men. There you go. Boot in the ass. Stats of 23 says that's what I had to do after my accident. So many people have asked, how am I still happy after something like that? I say because I choose to. Absolutely. And that's a tough thing to say to people, because a lot of people don't understand like that you have to make that choice, right? You have to make that choice. Like, you have choices, and being depressed is a thing. Having depression is another thing, right? You can be depressed. There's nothing wrong with being depressed, but you have to realize like that I can't stay like this. I have to put a boot in my ass. I have to work hard because people count on me and rely on me. And if you're not a man who's relied on, what fucking good are you to society? Be a man that people can rely on. Get a boot in your ass. Realize there's struggles you have to do to go through to get to a happy place. And a lot of times, man, that is hitting a bag. It's working hard, lifting heavy shit, doing hard things. That's usually the cure, because going through those challenges really helps your mind so much. So yeah, I agree 100%. And then we have Daniel Cat with another 2 bones. Opportunity is so important when you're down, though. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that that's what I mean by those
You
times.
got your one shot to not let your chance to go.
No,
You feel
but
me?
those
Opportunity is once
those
in a
times
lifetime. You
are
better lose yourself in the. I'm sorry.
those times are the times that are going to help you become stronger and better and thicker, right? It's kind of, you can think about it in any way, shape, or form. Like, there's no job you're going to be able to do to perfection without going through tough times, right? You have to learn it, just like with anything, even with your mental health, right? If you want a strong mind, well, you got to go through strong shit or tough shit. Thank you again for the other donations, man. He's coming in hot
Oh,
today.
did you guys want to see how good my knife matches?
Thank
my
you,
outfit?
Elias. I appreciate that. What?
Can I show them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I show this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally every night.
Look at how good this matches. Like, I just want to show you. Look at that. Like, it's the same color. This is kind of a unique blue.
It's a new Altus, guys.
Look at that. Look at your girl matching. I like matching my. Okay, how many of you? I'm just curious. Like, okay.
Shout out to Edgy American. Go and subscribe to his channel too. Go ahead.
This is
quick.
profound.
I want to hurry up and get through it though.
One, in the chat, if you like to match your knives to your outfit and you think about that. Two, in the chat, if you're like, nah, I just pick the knife I want. I'm curious to know how many of you actually like, maybe they have like maybe a larger collection with options. Like, I think for me personally, the more options I had in my collection, the more I started to care about, like, ooh, let me pick the one that's fire with this outfit I got going or whatever. But like, I'm just curious.
Erk,
Jared
yes,
does
get
it.
your ass to bed, man. Work is very, very important, and you need to be strong for the morning. So thank you for joining, man. I
Weird.
appreciate it. Elias says,
fair.
get out of bed. Pussy being a man is dealing with suffering. It absolutely is. And you can't expect a woman to look at you and want to rely on you if you can't do those things, right? You think about it even with yourself, right? When you look over at another person, another human being, men are a little different because we're okay with fixing. We're okay with that. Women are usually not. But men are okay with like taking something like kind of like the damsel in distress. We're okay with stuff like that. Women are not, right? But for the most part, you don't want to look at some grouchy, angry, person that back hurts and all these things and look at him like, man, I can't wait to spend time with them, right? That's not how it works, right? You want to see somebody who's happy, who's motivated, who looks like they have their shit somewhat together and can handle the grit, right? You got to be able to handle the grit. And if you can handle challenging things over and over and over, that is very attractive to everybody, not just women, your friends, your family, the people around you. If they can rely on you, right? People that can be relied on are the assets. They're the ones that people want to make their allies. They're the ones that people want to have on their team. I bet Kara used to rock juicy sweatpants and all.
No.
What is all white AF1?
No.
That attitude.
Listen,
That's funny.
I remember those damn juicy sweatpants. I never owned a pair in my life, dog. I literally was a jeans person for most of my life. I was a jeans girl. You know what I'm saying? Jeans in it up every day. That's pretty much what I did.
Oh, did you read that one when you're done?
If you have
that
the ability.
No, that one.
Which came first, the knife or the outfit? Usually, okay. First of all, I just want to comment on the number thing in the chat. Most people said 2. I would say that swung like a good 60-40.
There you go. There's your numbers.
I know. I looked at my phone already. It was probably a good 60-40, like, to people not caring. And some people saying like they're close to that. But anyway, I think it's usually it's probably usually the knife first, I would say. No, it's probably a 50-50 shot, because sometimes I'm not like thinking about that when I'm getting dressed. I just get dressed. So, probably 50-50 either way.
Daniel with another 5 bones. A warrior is not about winning or losing. A warrior is about doing, regardless of how many times they stumble. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not even about winning, right? It's about showing up. It's about showing up and doing it. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think it's important to have like a warrior mindset. And I think that's one thing that a lot of when I hear some and specifically talking about a younger generation, I don't want to talk shit about them because I do think it's a lot different. But when I listen to some of the things some people say today, I couldn't imagine ever in my life saying the things that they say, like just how negative and how weak it sounds. Like to me, I would have felt weak. I would have felt like a bitch to say some of these things, and and then have people look at me like that, because I was always taught that you don't act like this, you don't behave like this, and yeah, I think that so many people need to have that warrior mindset, that mindset of wanting to get over challenges, and wanting to be tough, and wanting to be hard, and wanting to do hard things, because that's the important thing. Like, are you willing, like, even if it's as small as exercising, right? Exercising is hard, it's difficult. Are you willing to do that to yourself? If you're not willing to go through the challenges of something that's simple, even though it's hard, it is hard, but something that you can actually do to yourself, then the other things, how can you possibly think you're going to get through other things, right? And it's hard sometimes for people to start, right? That's the biggest thing. I mean, starting is the number one thing, but start. Yes, baby, go ahead.
Daniel Cad with the 5 memberships. You gonna ding it? I know he said he didn't want the ding ding for the ching ching, but we got it.
Thank you for the 5 members. I appreciate it, man. Another 5 members. We got a lot of members tonight. Yes. 319.
Oh, the 14C one.
It's Bob says it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Rocky Balboa. Yes, sir. Yes, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Because like in life, right? In life, it doesn't matter how hard you can hit, because
I don't take them.
If I'm just moving them.
I know, but I brought them
If
because
you can
have them all.
If you can hit hard, that's only going to work out so many times before you get hit, right? So it is very important to be able to take the beating, even more so than give the beating. But I think the giving the beating relates with the taking a beating, because the giving the beating means that you're not being knocked down, that you're not being held down, that you're continue to fight. Let's see if we have another topic. What's up,
somebody whom I lost now in the chat was asking, in your opinion, what is the Cameron, in your opinion, what is the best spider coat ever made?
My opinion, Mannix.
Oh, I don't even know why I asked the question. I could have just typed it in the chat for you. Look at that mini bay. You guys remember this little thing? The little mini bay, double D10. Can I just say,
I do want to do story time still.
Okay, I'll leave so you do it. But
you don't want to stay?
Well, I don't like when you do story time, you're just like, I'm just like,
how about we'll go till 9:30 and I'll just do story time at 9:30. That means you went the whole time.
This is me during story time. I like listening, but like I've just like look like
it's
a
okay.
statue.
No, you're fine. You're fine. If you don't want to stay for story time, that's fine.
Anyway, this mini bay though is sick, and Kaiser has been doing like a really good job with these double D10s. Sabibi had a good one too that was copper. I can't remember the name of it, but Kaiser's, like, look at how that flaps down. It's like wham. It's like, oh my god, the action is so good. I've showed you guys the Kaiser walnut before, which is like a perfectly square knife. It is hilarious, and the action on it is absolutely off the chain. Look at this thing. Now, for some of you that ask, like, oh, what knife should I get my wife? Like, I want to recommend this, but at the same time,
it's dangerous.
I feel like somebody that doesn't know what's up is going to go like this and push down, which with a double D10, so, I mean, if you know what's up and you know how to hold it properly and whatever, then I guess, but, like, you have to really, like, the person has to kind of know what's up, but, like, this fidget factor is off the chain. And the knife is good too, like, because they did these oval scales, and I'm going to contradict my earlier statement about thick scales, but because they did them slightly thick and it being small, you still feel like, you can hold it. But like this, look at that. It looks like it's automatically closing, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's fast. It's very fidgety.
I'm gonna go
it's
get the
fun.
walnut.
It's fun. Daniel Cad with the 5 bones. He says, I got hit hard by a modder once or twice, but I just keep getting up. Better pay that money. The Mannix is the best EDC knife of all time, regardless of the brand, not even close. I agree. It's unbeatable. And that's why I don't know why they haven't like really used that lock in so many other knives. What do you think about an all 3D printed knife? I think it'd be good for a prototype.
Check it.
Whoa.
The little walnut. Okay, so I have a question. Okay, first of all, check that out, right? So they got the jimped edge right here. Jimped edge with a hole. So this thing opens like a boss. That front flipper is insanely good.
I
For
think the
being-
reverse
for
flick is
literally
really
being
good.
flush with the top of the knife. It is insanely good, and the
Perfect.
hole works wonderfully. The clip is hilarious. They send you a skinny one if you don't like that jazz. It's like a money clip, but it literally like do the shut. Do like the good shut. Oh, look at it! Wham, wham! It's you guys got to get one. They're not even that much money. Like it's such a good thing. I know the scale's a little ugly. I wish they didn't do black and white. I'm not like a tuxedo person, but whatever. Anyway, though, question for you regarding this knife. It made me think of another cool question. Are you ready for your cool question? As knife people with large collections and desks in home offices, we tend to have like a pile of knives that sort of floats around the desk, like frequently. So with that said, what is your favorite frequent desk knife that's like always just kind of chilling on your desk? Which is your favorite?
I got too many of them.
Come on, you gotta do it.
I don't know. I have
Like,
too
what's
many
your
of
one
them.
that like okay, like if you're sitting here and you got like your line of
They
knives.
constantly change.
Okay, like let's just say right now with what's on your desk now, what's the one that you just keep grabbing when you need it?
I
Like,
mean,
is there-
I've been fidgeting with this one the past week, though, the American Blade Works Model 1.
You've been going after that bad boy.
This is the one because I was wanting to break it in. But, like, I always have a different reason because a lot of times I have to fidget with them to break them in, to break in the lock bar, to break in the D10s, things like that, to see how they break in, to test them, all those things. Cameron G, is the Civivi the best bang for the buck company? What do you think? I think, yes, I think Civivi and or Sencut. Now, if you only
Is personally,
hell no, what are you talking about?
I like their knives a lot.
Doesn't matter. They're like $20-$30 more than Civivi's.
I just feel like I like what I get better personally.
Civivi's giving you better heat treat, and
That is probably true.
like they're giving you a lot.
My
Civivi's
edges-
better. Sencut's going to be the best, then Civivi. But if you want like something for like $30, then I have a different answer. But for $65 and less, yes.
Really quick to answer the question, this fat one is the Kaiser Walnut, and then this one is called the Mini Bay Mini, and then the word is BAY, like that, like an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
This whatever, I don't know what they call it, serape something or other. I don't know that they have this available. They might. You'd have to check. I don't think they do. I know they have the walnut though, and I'm telling you, this blade shape is unique. I like to have unique blade shapes because they may come in handy for different tasks, right? So sometimes I have tasks where like I need a really thin blade like the Civivi Clavi, right? That's such a unique thing. Like it is the thinnest, sharpest Wharncliffe you've ever seen. Sometimes I need something really tiny and pokey like that. Other times I need me a chunky, you know, and this guy fills that role. And if you look at the blade shape, it's not your average chunk. It's got like this huge, like where it sits down like this, so you can actually get some fire cutting action in without it like getting in the way of this square handle because of how down set the actual edges. Do you guys see that? It's very unique, and you almost get a secondary tip right here. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. The first dairy tip is not as good, but I use that secondary one a lot. I like it.
Bob Smith says, any tips for sharpening a cigar cutter, 2-inch chisel ground hawkbill, maybe a short diamond rod? Yeah, I would say diamond rods or a 1/2-inch diamond stone, and then move on to a finer and finer and finer until you get to like a ceramic. But I would say if it's less than $30, I would say just buy a new one. Or if it's $30, or sorry, more than $30, buy a new one.
Yeah, first dairy. It's like secondary, but first.
What's more fun than the cormorant?
Ooh,
that thing is amazing. Yes, it
thank
is.
you for somebody finally agreeing with me on that. Everybody always hates
Have you
on me
seen
when
the
I say
metal
that.
3D printed knives? I don't think so.
Yes,
The
I
metal
showed-
3D
I showed
printed?
you the.
Did
Oh,
you?
I don't know if it's metal, but I showed you the picture. Some dude sent us a picture of
How
a
is it 3D printed if it's metal? That doesn't make sense
Maybe
to
they
me.
got 3D printers just put out molten hot metal. Just
Really?
no, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know that. They got exactly what they deserved. I hope it continues. Who's he talking?
Ooh.
Bufam. It's badass.
Is there some of that drama?
Neeves
happening?
knives. I mean, sheepdog double D10. What are you
Yeah,
talking
I
about,
do
Boo? What
want
was
that.
They got destroyed, and people were saying they were pandering.
Who are you talking about?
I'm trying. Vu, who are you talking about, bud? We want in on it. We want in on
We
this.
want to know the
On this
tea.
business. I'm just gonna scroll down to the bottom. So if you already said it,
Yeah,
say it
Blade
again. Say
Craft?
it again. If you already said it. Midgard Messer is 3D printed metal fixed blades. No shit.
Does it just come
Hey.
out like molten metal?
Shout out to Joe. Definitely go and check out his channel as well. Just finished Blade Talk. Stopped in to give you guys some love. Yeah, I seen you guys were live right when I actually clicked on it for a minute right before I went live.
Oh, Bud Light.
Go and check that video out, guys, as soon as we're done here.
You're talking about Bud Light.
Oh,
Okay, can I just say, okay, Shane Gables of Edgy American, who I earlier complimented, I would like to revert my compliment back because he's being a jerk. Look at this comment right here. Just everyone unsub. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go sub to Shane. He's awesome. But this comment is annoying. You know why? Because the cormorant must be experienced by somebody with a classy taste. It requires this nuance and this acquired taste that only the finest acquirers of cutlery can understand. And it's just it's such a refined, fancy taste that not everyone's gonna get it. You know what I mean? The miniature frag pattern on the clip is so unique that it just makes me fall in love with it immediately because they took the time to do that. They didn't have to do that, but they did. Anyway, point being is with the cormorant, I want to make it incredibly clear that the titanium version is the only one that I back up when I say that. I do not like the micarta version of the cormorant. I think it sucks butt. I don't like it. I think the action is not as good, doesn't have the same vibe. The titanium cormorant, specifically my example, I guess, is incredibly fidgety and worth it. Micarta one, no. So I just want to make that clear.
So do I think the Cavaldenka is overpriced? I think most people would say that. Yeah, I think it's really, really well done. I think it's really good. I think if you got it, I know I see that. I'm about to get it. But I think most people would say it's overpriced. Yes, I do think they could probably adjust the price a little bit better, but I still think it's a really good knife. So Daniel Cad with the 5 bones. They do have metal 3D printing with lasers and powdered steel. I never knew that. So that's awesome to know. And then shout out to the new member who is my cousin. I believe it's my cousin. It's either my cousin or my nephew. So shout out to them. Shout out to you, Cuzzo. Supporting the fam. The honey badger is fine for 18 bones, not a penny more. Yeah, I think the original one in 8CR is I think it's only worth like $20. But as far as the D2 ones, I think it's worth a little bit more. There's a reason to buy a knife over Is there a reason to buy a knife over $300? Yes. Yeah, seems great. Okay, so Cameron, one, I have many knives over $300 that I could sell for even more than I paid right now. I get offers all the time for, like, I have a $300 knife right there. I've been offered $400 for. I know a guy who bought a $2,000 knife and in 15 minutes sold it for $10,000. And it was at a custom show. He won the opportunity to buy it. He bought it, didn't give a shit if he kept it or not. Somebody walked up to him and said, I'll give you $10,000 for it right now. So yes, there's many reasons. And then there's also just the collector aspect. And then there's the point of, does it hold value? So you can get to have the knife for so long. And then if you do want to sell it, trade it, you might have negotiating power to trade for something you want, or maybe just sell it for a little bit less than you paid. So you get to hold on to the value. So, it could be considered somewhat of an investment. Now, if you're using it and scratching it up, that's a little different. And in that case, no, I wouldn't say that it's an investment piece. But then again, depending on the knife, like if it's titanium and carbon fiber and things like that, you can always get blades refinished. You can always get titanium refinished. You can always get it re-anodized, re-blasted. So you can make a knife that literally looks like absolute shit that's a premium knife and make it look brand new tomorrow. So, yes, I do think there's a lot of times when a knife is well worth over $300. I can think of knives right now that are worth $800 all day, every day, because of the machining, the level of fit and finish and quality and attention to detail, the handwork. It's like kind of like if you put 100 hours into something, let's just say, I'm not saying somebody did, I'm just saying if you put 100 hours into something by hand, wouldn't you want something crazy? You'd want some good money for that son of a bitch, right? Well, that's how a lot of custom knife makers are, right? They put so many hours into some of these works of art that it's a shame that they can't get more for what they do. And especially once you build a following and build people that want your knife because it has a reputation for being really good. Like, man, I don't really buy custom knives, but I know a lot of custom knife makers that make amazing, amazing work. And I've seen them around for a couple of years, and they've only built up their reputation more and more. And now, like, look at somebody like Bob Terzola. He's been doing it for like 30 years. He can sell knives for thousands of dollars, and he can't make them fast enough. But in the same breath, if you buy that, you could turn around and sell it for more. Here, go ahead.
Garen is asking how many rock studs you guys have. We have 2 rock studs. One
Dos.
came from a
Dos.
really, really kind knife donor of the channel.
Shout out to him.
Whom we called Mr. Amazing because he was anonymous.
Shout out to Mr. Amazing.
He used to top me all the time, right? Like, so like I would get Jared a knife and then he would just blow it out of the water with his amazingness, right? So I had this like evil plan to save up for this rock stud for like ever, like a titanium one because the other one was wooden. And so that's where the second one came from, was from a pissing.
Shout out to Mr. Amazing.
Pissing contest, essentially.
Go feel a $300 knife and you shall feel the difference. Yeah, absolutely. Like I have a couple sitting right next to me right now that are just insane quality. And the level of work, like you can just feel not only the materials, but just like the efforts put into something like this is way above a lot of other knives. Like you can feel it too, that from the consistency to the way the detent is, the action, and the little things, how perfectly centered it is. There's so many great things, but you have to appreciate knives because to some people, a knife is just a tool and you're going to put it through shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll use any one of my knives. I do not care. I love using my knives. I think they look better after being scratched. I think they look better with wear and tear on them. But some people want to hold the value. So they want to enjoy it. They have knives they use, which sometimes are very high-end knives, but they have all the knives that they buy because they have so many high-end knives that they use already. They don't need to fuck up all their knives. I even have knives like that. Knives I don't need to mess up because I have plenty of high-end knives I can mess up. So
can I answer?
Go ahead.
Cameron G, you got some fire questions tonight. He asked basically like what was the original reason for getting into knives. I'm not going to speak for Jared, but what I can say for myself is that it initially came from a need for work. So like I didn't actually go out and buy a knife thinking I need this for work. Jared got this like little assisted Smith & Wesson. It's like pink and he gave it to me. And because I started carrying it, I started seeing the usefulness for it at work, especially compared to box cutters. And I had a job that required a lot of knife usage. So for me, it became kind of this like thing where it's like, oh, I have this necessity for work. And then I started seeing how cute knives could be. And then I tried my first not assisted knife and I fell in love.
When you carry a knife for so long, you realize how useful it is.
Well, and so that what happened is because I was using this for my job all the time and I was used to carrying it because work is what I did the most. And so I had it on me most of the time every day. I started thinking like, man, there's some really like cute knives out there. There's these knives, that knives. I'm already using it every day. So like a girl typically is going to want to be like all fashionable with it and basically make it like pocket jewelry, right? So that's kind of where my head went once I felt the manual one and just like that action. And I was like, this is so cool. You know, like you just feel the mechanics of you doing it, you know, yourself. It's not like a spring opening it for you. You're feeling the glassiness of the bearings or the smoothness of a washer, and it just feels glorious. The Rake P801 was that first one I felt, and then not long after that, we got the Kaiser V3V Gore, which is double washer. It has phosphor bronze as well as Teflon, like stacked. That thing feels like it's running on glass, and like it just really made me fall in love with all the different variants and options. And even though the intent was for work, there was like a deeper thing behind it about like, now I want to have this all the time because it's like my companion.
Okay, I would say diminishing returns used to be at $150, but it's now about $200 to $250. So I would say a few years ago it was $150. At $150, I would say you'd get diminishing returns. That doesn't mean you're not getting more value. It's just it's diminishing big time, right? So like from $20 up to $150 to $200, there's a massive difference between a $20 knife and a $200 knife. But once you go to $200 to $250, it's getting slower and slower and slower. And after $250, that's when it really skirts down, and now you're getting a little bit less. Now that's not saying, because when you start getting the react quality and things like that, and you're at the $350 to $400 price tag, those are going to be the most premium. Those are going to be the most you can get for your money, I think. So I don't think I think after that, you're not going to get anything better. I think after about the $400, maybe $450 price tag, you're not going to see much better than that. Not saying you can't spend more and get something specific for yourself, but it's not going to be better than something else that you can get. So I think that's the price range of which you are getting the most out of everything. You're getting the little fine details. You're getting the good heat treat, getting good geometry. You're getting the fit and finish. You're getting the tolerances. You're getting the action. You're getting everything you want all in one. And it's as good as it can get. Now, there's knives that are way more expensive than that, but are they better than that? Not really. The design is going to talk to you more. Maybe there's going to be a little bit more level work, you know, maybe a polished blade, things like that. Maybe certain types of heat treats, certain steels, but the knife itself isn't going to be better.
This comment is funny as shit. Go down to Arrowhead's comment.
Wait, hold on a second.
Whoa, you're back there.
Wait a second.
What?
Bang gang. My cousin.
Oh yeah. He also told you to watch your mouth. I don't know what you said. So watch your mouth, Jared.
What am I going?
Go to Arrowhead's.
Breathe.
Go to Arrowhead's comment. Right there. Go up. The big one. Read that. That's funny.
Had a customer the other day ask me what the knife was in my pocket. Always wanted someone to ask, but then it turned into me having to pretend to be interested in Case, Buck, and Rough Rider collection. I've had that happen. Yeah, and you should. You should make those guys feel magical. Make them feel like they have the best knives in the world. That's what I do every time. Every time I run into somebody and they pull an M-Tech out or pull out a Smith & Wesson or something, I sit there and act like I like it. I flip it. I talk knives with them, because, you know, you have the moment to sit there and talk knives with them, make them feel good about it. And then later on, you know, they can, if they want to get in deeper, they can. But you don't want to ruin that moment for them when they meet another knife guy, right? You don't want to take that from them. Bought an Artisan cutlery knife and lock gave out. Blade, should I sell it? Too late to return. I mean, yeah, if it's too bad, I mean, just throw it away. I mean, there's
you got to keep up.
You could try to sell it. I don't know if it'll do you any good. What's up, baby?
You going? Keep up. No, I'm saying you got to keep up with the comments now because my phone died.
Okay, well, I'm about to go into story time.
So we're gonna send any more, I would save your member comments because my phone just died and he cannot see them on here. So if you have those, you get one a month. I would just reserve it because he can't see that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your thing, do your story time. All right. I'm gonna go kill some people in a fictional world, and I will see you in a minute.
Okay, Jared, do you gently prod them to get a better, more expensive knife? Nah, yes. I mean, maybe a little bit. No, not totally.
I do. I'll point to one and be like, okay, but it's not a lie though. Like, I'll point to it and be like, listen, you've got this G10 version here, and you have this beautiful anodized, dimpled, hammered, blah, blah, blah. And people would rather see this more. And I genuinely think it would do better on the channel. And I'll just say that because it's
well, you're talking about the channel. I'm not talking about the channel. I'm talking about running into somebody on the streets and then pulling out an M-Tech or a Gerber.
Oh, why did I think he was talking about prodding companies for the better option?
No, somebody who you meet on the streets. Right? You don't want to hurt their feelings. Well. So what I will do is I will talk about some of the knives maybe that I carry that are on the channel or things like that, and tell them the level of which knives can get to. But I won't diminish what they have. I won't do it at the, at the price of making them feel bad for what they're carrying. I'll just talk about the things that there also is.
Daisy is no joke. Seems logical. It was hard, but yes, that's what I'm gonna play. Anyway, real quick, and I'll go. The thing about nudging people in the right way, I'll always do it. Be like, oh, let me see your knife, and I'll look at it. I'll be like, oh, you've got some 440C steel on here. That's a pretty cool steel. You should check out this steel. It's
bottom of the barrel, bitch.
Rude. No, that's what I'll do. And I've genuinely done that before. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was a difference. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If you see this and this, don't get it. If it says stainless steel, if they actually reply, then I'll start going deeper. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to let Jared tell his story. And I'm going to
Daniel Cad. Thank you for the 5 bones. Once again, the next donation, you can hit a 1967 Eleanor or Supra that used to be tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, depending on how good it is and the marketing. Very, very true. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, baby. I'll be done in a minute. Okay, so we are going to very quickly, because we've missed it the past couple weeks. So we are going to very quickly go into scent of the day. And don't even have it linked down in the description. But here, maybe I will really quick. You know what? Fuck it, I'm not gonna. But you guys can go find it pretty easily. And then we're going to go to story time. And story time is going to have a little bit to do with what we were talking about earlier with, getting tough, right? Or going through hard shit. So Mashoni Wave is actually the fragrance I'm wearing right now. So it is a very fresh fragrance. That's basically what it is. I've talked about the other Mashoni, which is somewhat of like a, I'm going to call it somewhat of like a barbershop-y fragrance, where it's kind of, how can I say it? It's more mature. It's a mature fragrance. This is a lot more versatile. It's a lot more fresher. It's basically just a fresh fragrance. That's it. Nothing like too crazy, nothing too special about it, but that's the beauty of it. You can wear it anywhere, anytime. Doesn't matter. You're always going to smell good. Everybody's going to like it. Nobody's going to dislike it. It's not that type of fragrance. It's a fragrance that everybody will enjoy. That's why I think it's good. Like, it's something you can literally just throw on, and it's super cheap. This whole bottle is like super duper cheap, but it's got a nice bottle, magnetic top. So it's built very, very well. You can see how strong that magnet is. Then I lose it, but it is an awesome bottle. The pressurizer is really good. It's got pressurized whatever the hell this thing is called, the actuator or whatever the fuck it's called. But the fragrance itself smells really, really good. For the price, it is a highly recommended fragrance because it's easy. You know, it's an easy grab, easy buy. You know, anybody will like it, and it doesn't matter what age group you're in. It can be young, you can be older. This one I would say is going to be a little bit more for mature people, like, you know, maybe over 30. But this one will go for anybody, and it smells good. So, story time. So, story time. We talked about earlier about going through hard shit, right? Just like in it making you better on the other side. So I figured I would talk about some hard shit that I went through at one time. And it definitely made me a harder person because of it. And it lasted about probably well over a year. Probably, yeah, it was well over a year. And it was, I went through some really hard times. So I was doing some, I'm not going to go into what I was doing, but I was doing something that probably wasn't good. Definitely wasn't. And James Grand for the 5 bones. Thank you for always sharing your knowledge. What blade steel do you think is best for them on the Mannix? The S30V. If you can get the 15V, then the 15V is going to be the best. But, you know, any of the steels that come on the Mannix is good. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on which one you want. But the G10 one and S30V is really good. But so, you know, I was doing obviously some bad things, went through some hard times, and went through some serious hard times, and happened to just fall in a time when things were all collapsing, right? I was doing something where I was making like a lot of money, and something wound happening, and it went from a lot to nothing, and I had a massive property and massive things to take care of, and I wound up losing my power. So no electricity and no heat in the middle of winter. So I had to go through an entire winter, and I'm talking about so fucking cold that like there was nights I thought I was gonna die. And it was just, and I'm gonna go into the electric thing because that's a whole nother animal to deal with. But dealing with the freezing cold all night. I need that, yeah. Dealing with the freezing cold all night, every day, just to stand up and walk across the room. It is blistering cold, right? So you'd have to keep a fire going. And I had a fireplace, luckily. So I'm breaking down wood like all day, all night, never even sleeping, hardly can sleep. You got to sleep next to it. And so I would break the wood down, you know, keep the fire going as much as you possibly could, but you wind up falling asleep sometimes and you wake up and it's so damn cold. It's so cold and there's nothing you can do. And, you know, Chicago weather, you guys should know it gets in the wintertime, it gets fucking cold, like way below zero. So, and especially when you're in a house too, the inside gets even colder. So it's almost warmer outside than it is inside because you're insulating the cold. So, you know, walking across the floor, especially if you don't have socks or shoes or something on, it's so cold you can almost not even walk on it. And then since there's no hot water, right? There's no hot water, you can't even put hot water on your face. You have to be freezing cold and put freezing cold water on your face. Like it does something to you, like to where it really toughens you. And then you have to deal with the smoke from the fire constantly, because in order to survive, you can't not survive without the fire. You have to have the fire going. Well, now for power, having no light, right? Well, so in the winter, our sun goes away like at 4:00, 4:30. So between 4:30 and like 7 in the morning, it's dark. Literally, it gets dark at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the winter here. So with no power, you have no lights. So you have to use flashlights and different things, and you're constantly dealing with batteries. But like I would have these like jugs set up, like jugs, like milk jugs, and you could put a light into them and they would amplify the light. I came up with all these little tricks, and it was like there was like all these little things that you expect like somebody in prison to come up with to figure out how to do this, how to do that, how to get this, how to get that, and like all these little tricks I was trying to pull just to survive. And through the entire time, like it's something I can still taste. I can taste it in my mouth. I can smell it. I literally sometimes my mind will go back to that time and I can feel it. I can smell it. I can taste it. And it reminds me of a time that where I struggled so hard, and it lets me know also like that it's difficult to take me out. Like it literally reminds me of like the levels of struggle I've been through that I can go through, right? So like when I think of like tough times, I've been through the toughest times anybody can imagine. So it makes me harder to defeat. It makes it to where I have no doubt in my mind, if these time comes, I can survive. Or if these times come, I can, work this or do that. And that was during a time where construction was like non-existent. Like the economy was so bad, like nobody was building. It was just starting to pick up, I think, but it was still really bad. Jeremiah Moses, thank you for the 2 bones. I do appreciate it. I think there was one other one, maybe not. But yeah, it's it was a really, really hard time. And like I said, I was coming up with like all these little times, like to I was coming up with all these like little things to do different things, like whether it was to make money, whether it was to have power, or to have a little bit of heat or something like that, or to, even like to get warm water on my face, right? Like the level of which I would have to go through to get to a place with warm water. And leaving was a nightmare itself because everything snowed in. There were times where it was like literally a blizzard. So to go anywhere is a struggle in itself. And then I'm in lots of cases wanted by the cops, right? Fucking running from them too. So like it was difficult, having to navigate through that. Um, Without going down that story too much. It made it really difficult. Then like there was one night I was chopping wood, and Thanksgiving, I think it was Thanksgiving was the next day. I think it was Thanksgiving or something like that, right? And I'm chopping wood. Maybe it was Christmas time. I think it was Thanksgiving, though, but I'm chopping wood and I have a machete. I have not a machete, a hatchet that I'm chopping wood with, breaking down wood to keep it warm, right? And I had done it so many times that you kind of get just used to doing like a routine. I'm half asleep, fucking chopping wood, getting it in the fire to stay warm, making sure I have so much wood, and I'm having to take wood from literally the woods, right? Like not buying wood at the gas station, like literally fucking making my own wood, then bringing it inside and chopping it down. Anyways, so then I was like half asleep, and I was just going to the routine of getting the wood, and wham, the hatchet goes through the wood, chips a little piece off, and goes right to my finger. I still have the scar to this day, and it split me open all the way to the bone. So now I'm gushing, right? Gushing with blood squirting, and I gotta wrap it, and it's so brutally cold. I'm trying to survive, keeping a fucking fire going, and no power, right? No power, so you can't see shit, right? Especially one-handed, walking around trying to, so you're ripping off your shirt, wrapping your hand up, figuring it all out. But it's like the little, you wind up realizing the little things, how important they are. The little things like water, right? How important water is, how important warm water is. Like that's a huge one. Like I can really, like literally thinking about cold water right now, like on my body, it brings me back to a time. There's times where I take cold water from like a sink and I put it on my face, and it literally brings me back to having to take ice cold showers. And it's not like an ice cold bath where you jump in and you're intentionally doing it. It's where you can't have warm water. You can't wash your hands in warm water. Hey, thank you for the 2 bones, sourdough. I appreciate it. 10 bones, 10 bones. Thank you for the 10 bones, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, it makes you appreciate the little things, showers, blankets, like just even like just like soft ground, right? Because everything was hard for me. Like I had all hardwood floors, tile, things like that. So nothing was soft. Being able to get something soft under your feet was huge. Just I can think of like just so many things. And then on top of it, you know what happened to me? Also on top of it, I wound up going through a time at the exact same time. So many things happened to me in this time that was just like so brutal. Like I said, I almost died. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. But I wound up getting a tooth infection. I wound up getting a tooth infection to the point to where I was beating my head against a brick wall, against a brick fireplace to knock myself out because it was so painful. Zero money, zero money. The only money I could have is if I fucking went and robbed somebody, and I'm not joking. So no money, no ability to go to the dentist and have them fix it, and it's you're in so much pain. And they have like this thing, like in areas that I was in that where like the state will pay for it like one time, like you have like one time, you're right, one time to get like a tooth pulled or something like that. Um, and I had done that or something before, so like I was like shit out of luck of getting it again or something like that. I don't remember. But the pain was so insane that like I literally was struggling to fucking stay alive, and on top of it, I was in like some of the worst pain in my life. I remember one time, without going into too much details, I remember I went and robbed somebody one night, and the pain from the tooth hit me so hard that I couldn't even see. Like I don't know if anybody's ever had a bad toothache. Like I'm not talking about like a regular toothache. I'm talking about an infection that's deadly. Like the infection to where your face swells up, your eyes swell nearly shut. You have a piercing in your head to where like it doesn't stop. There's no stopping it because the nerve is so close to the brain. Like if you have a broken finger, the nerve is far from the brain, right? So if you have a pain on your chin, it's gonna go in between, this pain. With a tooth pain, nothing stops it. It never stops. It's just fucking ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. And like I said, I was beating my head into a brick wall. But this night I was doing some bad stuff to get money. I was on my way out and had things in my hands, and it hit me, and it hit me so hard. I nearly had to lose everything I went and struggled to do, which I know was a bad thing. I'm not trying to make it seem like it was a good thing or that I had a good reason or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I was a horrible person and it was a horrible reason. I'm just saying what happened. But it it made you, man, like talk about like really realizing like how bad things can get, man, when you're really at the bottom and you're really struggling. But that's why, like, it also makes me, like I said, like it makes you tough. It makes you realize, like, I can get through anything. And I think it's important for I'm not saying to suffer on that level. Like, I don't think it's good for men to suffer on that level. Maybe some people like me need to do that because I am so hard-headed and so stubborn and so I have so much tenacity that maybe it takes that level for me. But for most people, I don't think they need to go through that big of a struggle. But I think going through little struggles and intentionally putting yourself through struggles, because I think struggles come no matter what, right? You don't have to intentionally do it. But if you are intentionally staying away from struggles on purpose, I think it's hurting you. I think if you intentionally say, "Oh, I'm going to avoid this, I'm going to avoid this, I'm going to avoid this, I'm going to avoid this because I don't like it," right? I don't like having to do this. I think that's such a horrible thing. I think there are so many times where you need to like just look at things in the eyes and say, "You're hard and I'm going to fucking do you," right? Like I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because it's hard, right? I'm going to put myself through this because it's hard. And I think that that's so important to do. And the things it can do to you in a positive way, I think is to an extreme, like making it to where you do something to yourself on purpose in order to be stronger, to be tougher, or to just know like this is going to be tough. I don't want to do it. I do not want to do this, but it's my responsibility to do it, and I need to do it, right? That man, I think it changes the way you treat people, the way you deal with people in your life, and the way people want to rely on you, because you got to be somebody to be relied on. Like as men, we are not Like, and I know there's some women in here, but as far as the men goes, if you're not providing something, you're not worth a fuck. You have to be worth something. You have to be valuable, because that's our asset, right? It's kind of like that saying. How does that saying go? Only women and children, and dogs are loved unconditionally, not men. We're loved for what we can provide, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But that also makes it to where you have to provide something. You have to give something. And I'm gonna go to the comments, and then and I do appreciate you guys all hanging out with me and sitting here listening to me talk my shit. Just one instance. I'd give I'd give a tooth for an 80/20 full time. You think that. You think that. But guess what? You know how much money, the tooth would probably cost more to replace than that 80/20 full time. So you think that. You think that until you don't have any teeth to eat with, until you're literally using your gums to eat with, and your gums are bleeding trying to eat food. Like, and I've been through that. So I know. It sucks, man. I had a stint on oxys back around 2000s. Of course, I was broke and detoxing. I destroyed the toilet, went to flush, and the water was turned off. Had to take a bucket to the pond to fish. I went through the same shit. In order for me to use a toilet in a house with no running water or electricity or anything. You have to get buckets of water, and I had a source of water, but like I said, it was freezing cold, so I'd have to fill up buckets of water from like a spigot, and I would have to bring it and haul it and then use it. So but yeah, 3 gallons. It takes 3 gallons to flush a toilet. So it winds up being a struggle constantly hauling 3 gallons of water. No such thing as a one and done. Sure, Canadian dollars, Todd. We commiserate. Good Neeves type fella. Thank you, dog one. I have 3 wisdom teeth I would sacrifice for a knife. Well, wisdom teeth don't count. The wisdom teeth don't count, but I can see it's okay, I guess. A bridge costs about $2,500 up here in Alaska. Not sure how much dental care costs. So a bridge costed me about $3,500, maybe a little bit more. So altogether, I think it just depends on the bridge itself, because I think I had a really, really good dentist, and I'm talking about like a really, really good one. I've also had very, very affordable ones. So I went to a dentist one time in an area that was not a good area, but they have very, very, very affordable dentists. The problem is that some of the work that they do is the same work that they do in third world countries, but they do it very affordably. So you have the ability to pay, a little bit of money to get work done. Well, when I went to the dentist that I go to now, he looked at me, he said, "Who the fuck did this to you?" He was like, "This is something that we do like in other countries. Like, this isn't stuff we do here in the United States." And it's like, I got it done, in the next town over. And he's like, "This is not right." He's like, "This is something you see in third world countries. Like, yes, you can do it. Yes, it works, but it's not good work." And but there's a reason why he costs so much more. But yeah, like with my teeth are all permanent. I don't have dentures or anything, but they were a lot of fucking money. A lot of fucking money. Like a lot of money. I'm paying 46,000 for a full mouth implants. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think you could get it. You could probably get it for about 24 to 30 from a really good dentist. Um, I think like, it depends on what you're getting. Like, if you're getting all implants, then yeah, it'll cost about 40 grand. If you're getting bridges with implants, you can get like each side or you get the whole top for like 12 grand and the whole bottom for like 12 grand. So you can get it for like 24,000. There's going to be some extras in there. So that's why I said up to 30. But that's what I'm saying, Mike, that type of work that's being done down there isn't the level. Like, the dentist I go to now, like, I'm telling you, it's some of the best work I've ever felt, seen, everything. Like, I've been to the dentist like that you're talking about in Mexico. Like, the place that I'm talking about is literally like going to Mexico, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, it's literally every place is written in Spanish. Everything is Spanish. It's literally like going to Mexico and getting work done. It's very affordable. It's very cheap, but you're probably going to be going through a lot of pain. you're going to be going through a lot of bullshit. You might or might not be happy in the end. If you have an infection and you're going through pain, you're going to be happy that the pain's gone. But the end work result, when you're looking at your teeth, you're going to be like, oh fuck, this kind of looks shitty. So I would rather die than have stones and tooth at the same time. I would rather die than have stones and a and tooth at the same time. You mean stones like kidney stones and a tooth infection? I know what you mean. I've never had kidney stones, but my dad did, and I heard that that was like some of the worst shit. He had some serious stones too. Um, in Is the Sabenza a good one and done knife? I want an everyday user that's titanium. Um, it depends. So if you don't care about action, yes, it's a great one and done if you get a new thumb stud. I would say you need to get a new thumb stud. I hate the thumb stud, but they're easy to get. You can get a brand new thumb stud for like 25 to 40 bucks. Titanium, really nice. But yeah, I mean, it could be as long as you don't care about action because it's a slow roller type of action. It's not a fidgety knife, or anything like that. If you care about action, then I would lean you towards something else. But it is a great one and done knife if you don't care about that. If you just care about the tolerances and things like that. Yes, kidney stones and tooth infection. Yeah, I've had many tooth infections. Never kidney stones, thank God. And I'm trying to be healthy to hopefully prevent things like that. Not saying that that's even possible, but I do think there is a level of which you can take care of yourself. Like I've noticed, like from the time like when I wasn't to the time where I started taking care of myself, everything is like a million times better. But yeah, man, I couldn't tell you how many tooth infections I've had. I couldn't tell you. I literally couldn't tell you. So many. My first one was when I was like 14. And I wound up going to the emergency room because I didn't know what was happening. My head like was swelling up and my face, like my eye was going shut. And I thought it was a migraine. I didn't feel it in my tooth because the nerve is all the way up in here, right? So the nerve was infected and it went to my brain. So my head felt like it was going to explode. And I wound up finding out that it was an infected nerve. What would you recommend in the $300 to $500 range? That's titanium with great action. I have an 80/20, but I don't really carry it. So in that price range, I mean, if you want USA made, I'm going to give you a different answer. But right now, go watch my video from earlier. I would recommend one of these 3 knives that I recommended in a video earlier today. This is the new Wii knife. It's a limited edition. There's only 205 pieces for each color. I think there's 4 or 5 different color options, but this is an amazing one. Very fidgety, great fucking knife. Awesome, awesome knife. You have also the Wii ZIFFIUS. By the way, this is the EXCITON. Just go watch my video. Go watch my video from earlier and use my link. The Wii ZIFFIUS. This is another good one. Both of these have integral back spacers. They're not integrals, but they have integral back spacers. So it's a solid backspacer that straps on. Then this is the Magnetron. If you like buoys or clip points, oh, this is really good. This is a frame lock, though, not a button lock, but it is very, very good. But if you like multiple forms of deployment and button lock action, I would recommend one of these 2 knives. And you get them for about 350 bucks. So it's right there in your price range. Now, if you're willing to spend more money, there was some stuff I was supposed to pull up here, but I'm not gonna right now because it's already too late. But you could even go as far as the Archbishop 3.0. I love this knife. I have many videos on it. Mine has a hollow regrind, but this is a Ferrum Forge design. I absolutely love it. Super, super solid. The next one would be the F22 kickstop. The F22 kickstop. I have a Chavez kickstop on the way, so I'll be featuring that here very soon. I have a feeling I'm really gonna like that. But the F22 kickstop, go watch my video on it. You're gonna love that. That's really good. And then the next one I would say is the Quiet Carry 9. That's a really good one. Those are all great options I just mentioned. Blade Ops store. Yes, there is the Blade Ops link. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it. But you know what? For this knife, though, can one of the moderators, can you go into my video earlier and grab the links to all 3 of these? You can literally just scroll down, or I can just do it really quick. Give me 2 seconds. So it's the video I did literally earlier. I'm just going to link all this and drop it in and put it in the chat for you. So here it is. I'll also put it in the description for people watching later. But anyways, guys, I do appreciate all the support tonight and all the love. I had a great time tonight with you guys, and like I was saying earlier, I have a lot of incredible videos coming up. I have a lot of great video ideas, and I really mean that. Like, I'm really, really focusing on incredible video ideas because I want to provide content that you guys, no matter what, have to click on. Like, it's not like that I'm like struggling to try, to get you guys to click. It's that the content is so good that you guys want to click and want to watch. And I'm hoping that I can implement the best information throughout the video, have a really good pace through the video so that you guys enjoy it, watch it, get lots of information. And like I said, I have a lot of great video ideas that I'm going to be doing over the next 6 months, but that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks that are like the ones planned for like right now. Some of which I know are not going to be as good as others, and others are going to be better than others. But that's just the way it works, but I do think they're all going to be really good. I do appreciate all the love and support from you guys. We're going to get out of here. We did stay about a half hour late, which is cool. I love doing that. So it means we had a good time. I do appreciate all the donations and all the new members, and shout out to all the new members. We don't have a Bang Gang live this Sunday, but we do have one next Sunday. And shout out to all the Patreons too. We do have the giveaway for you guys coming up of the Microtech MSI or the Microtech Stitch. But anyways, keep grinding. Thank you, man. Definitely. Absolutely. You got to keep grinding, man. That is so important. And I think it's so important to have that type of mindset to keep it fucking grinding. I will, Tommy Katana. I will definitely do another 4-hour stream one of these days. Because I like doing those. I don't mind. I can sit here and talk all day. So I'm a talker. But you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for all the support. How long can the echo chamber last after the sign off? As long as you stay in here. So as long as you guys stay in here, it'll last, I think. But once you click out, it's done. So peace out, guys.